What's up and what's going on, everybody? We appreciate everybody being here today. I've already seen a lot of you guys in the chat, as always. Kenny, you are always first, and we appreciate you being here, my brother. We appreciate everybody that is in the chat hanging out with us. Oh, sorry. Yeah, let me fix their fucking... Oh, shit. Hold on. Sorry. This is what it looks like, chat, whenever... my co-host, if they're watching, don't communicate. Give me 1 second here, chat. I apologize. I really hate that I have to do this with you guys on the stream. Bear with me 1 moment. It's not that. It's something I got to do here. Okay, I apologize for that. Anyway, we appreciate everybody being here. We do have a big show going on today. There are some good topics, actually some which has been rare lately. There haven't really been any good topics going on, but we do have some good topics to get into tonight with you guys. Before we get into anything, like I always say, if you are here and you would like to join our Discord, the link should be down below in the bio. If you would like to join our Discord, you can hit that link there. And throughout the week, if you see a topic or something that you feel like we should be discussing on the show, you can send that through the Discord. There are plenty of conversations going on throughout the Discord. The Discord is also currently under construction. There are some things that are going to be changing in the Discord and getting added to the Discord. So if you feel like you want to join a vastly growing community and have very fun conversations with the people already in the Discord, you can click that link down below. And it is also the best way for us to get in contact with you if we do giveaways, or for when we do giveaways. You can send us your mailing information and we can get in contact with you that way there. So, like I said, we appreciate everybody being here. Kenny, I see you. Raymond 2000, appreciate you being here, boy. D Stizzle, appreciate it. Neries, we appreciate you being here. Official EMG, Ant-Man, because I was reading something that said boy. Ant-Man 1991, appreciate you being here. King Rico, we appreciate you being here. Gray, appreciate it. Rico Woods, appreciate it. And Bo, we appreciate it. And everybody that's watching currently, we appreciate everybody being here. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. So let's see. Before we get into anything, Levon, how was your day today?
Pretty good day. Didn't check the forecast today. Didn't see that it was supposed to be raining whenever I got out of work. So I had a little bit of side work that I had to kind of shift around. And
what do you do?
But I'm an electrician. So. But I do a little bit on the side. But anyway, apparently, why do people always forget how to drive in the rain?
Oh, no,
it's
Norman. It's Oklahoma in general.
Yeah.
You said the light. You said the light. What now?
Just the lightest sprinkling. It's chaos. So anyway, but besides that, it was pretty good. We're halfway through the week, so.
Yeah, bro. I put that up as a status yesterday. I was like, I'm convinced at this point that Norman has the worst drivers in the tri-state area. The absolute worst drivers in the tri-state area. There's no reason why in a 40 everyone is going 25. I was the only one. I was like bobbing in there. I'm like, what the fuck? Am I missing something?
Then they look at you crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? And I already have road rage. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't stand the traffic in Norman. Q, how was your day?
Fucking work crazy, bro. Just every day this whole month, honestly, just been crazy. Just with Christmas shopping, working back and forth with the dogs, working like an extra job right now, trying to get extra stuff done. Missed like 2 weeks over here just doing family stuff. So I don't know. I'm just glad to be here, honestly. Same thing. I was late the other day. Was gonna be late today, but we started a little later on. So I'm honestly just cool and happy to be here, chilling, ready to go home, eat some more. I always sleep better in the rain too, so
yeah, it was
I'm not minding that it's raining and stuff, because I know I'm gonna get a little good night of sleep and everything. So should be a good night. Probably go home, throw on a Christmas movie.
Yeah, get him.
Just get a little happy vibe.
The
You know,
holiday
shit's been
cheer.
crazy.
Yeah.
Shit's
I think
been
Darius
crazy.
needs to do that. By the way,
I'm
he's
about
on
to-
one today.
I'm on one every day.
I'm about to say no. He just need to do that every
wish,
night
bro.
until Christmas.
I wish there
But
was
he's
a
not
day
even a
where
Christmas nigga though. That's you
Yeah, I
looking
don't
at the
care for
Grinch,
Christmas
bro.
at all.
You looking at the Grinch?
Yeah,
and
I'm
like
not a Christmas
live
person.
action.
I'm not a birthday person. I'm not like
Any-
I'm one of those people
anything
that if you tell the waitress to
celebratory-
come over to me and say happy, I will tell them to go away. I will. I'll say no. Go. I go away.
Don't need that attention.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I hate that. Like it's awkward to me. I don't like it. I'm not saying I don't like people telling me happy birthday. Like if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. But it's just like, yeah, I'm not. But I'm on one every day. I feel like every day before I press stream, I'm bitching, and then the final seconds, I'm like, what's up? What's going on? But I feel like every time, every fucking day, there's something that pushes me over the edge. Like,
It's like you can't even talk to him until he starts streaming. You just gotta sit here, wait till he finally chilled out, just cause some shit's always going on around here.
I'm telling you, bro, all the
It's
time.
always like the quote I say the most is just it's always something, bro. Like
always
it's literally
something.
it's
always
never
something.
nothing. Always something. Trust me.
Yeah, it's always something. Like even before I came in here, you know, I'm trying to rush to get back in here. You know, the timer's going down. I was late getting home because I had to again work late. Excuse me, I had to work late, so I was late getting home. I let my dogs out to go to the bathroom. My oldest dog didn't want to go to the bathroom because he doesn't like the rain, so he could hear the rain from the inside. So he's like, "Nah, I'm not fucking with that."
He knows what's up.
But as I told you guys, T'Challa is inaccurately fucking named. He should not be named T'Challa, but that's his name. So he knows it. That's his fucking name. But T'Challa is my biggest headache of all my pets. My biggest headache. Like, I swear to God, there's not a day that I'm not putting my size 11 up T'Challa's ass. Like, there's not a day. He like, I'm trying to get him back in here so we can start the stream. I'm like, T'Challa, let's go. I got to start the stream. This motherfucker jumps in my car. And I'm like, because the window's open. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like,
That's
get out the fucking car.
He's definitely not meaning like T'Challa a bad dog or anything.
No,
Like,
he's not a bad
T'Challa
dog.
is
He just
sweet dog.
He's
just
3. He's wild.
such a wild baby, bro.
He
that's
needs to be.
always
He
doing
needs his
something.
balls chopped off. That's what
Like
it is.
if you're not looking at him, he doing some shit to get your attention. Like it's like he don't mind getting in trouble just because he know you gonna be talking to him. At least
I don't
like
think I've ever met him. What kind of dog?
Oh, you don't want to meet
Yeah, I was about
T'Challa. I mean, you can meet T'Challa. I'm just telling you, like he's
you
all
gonna,
over
you gonna
the
tell
place.
you're gonna be able to know what he talking about off meeting him, bro. You're gonna be like,
Yeah.
I see why you always getting fucky out.
Like I said, I love my dog, bro. I love T'Challa. Like I love him. I mean, that's why he has the name he has.
Recast T'Challa for Derek.
yeah, recast T'Challa for me for sure. I feel bad. Last thing I'm saying about him, honestly, I feel bad because sometimes when he pisses me off, I always tell him, if I could go back to the day when we picked your ass up, we'd have left you where the fuck we found you. But I love him, so. So I got to keep my baby. But like I said, we do have things to talk about with you guys today. Some of the things we're going to get into are the Bad Batch Season 2 trailer that did drop today. We kind of knew that was going to be happening, so we'll react to that, give our thoughts on that. Then we'll talk about the Flash film being moved up 1 week into January 16th June 16th instead of June 23rd. And then we're going to talk about, we might get into this one. I'm not sure, because I really didn't even want to put this one on there. I'm not sure. But Nate Moore came out and said that Namor's backstory wasn't interesting enough to adapt into the MCU. And then we'll talk about Wakanda Forever's box office. That Namor one, that's an iffy one, though. But the Wakanda one, the box office for Wakanda Not Forever, we'll talk about that for sure. Let's see here. We'll jump first into the Bad Batch. And let me get that up. Let's see. Yes, Naries, I'd give the dad speech to T'Challa quite often. Quite often T'Challa gets that. And it's so funny because T'Challa has been obviously a topic of conversation in my household for almost a year. So anytime that I'm yelling Yeah, anytime that I'm yelling about recast T'Challa or I'm screaming T'Challa's name, he thinks that I'm talking about him. And it's so funny, too, because when I watch BP in my room or something like that, and he hears his name on the TV, he's always like...
You should have known that was going to happen.
This shit is funny. He can be cute, but he can also be a fucking menace.
King Rico said, I finally caught a live stream.
Oh, yeah, we appreciate you being here. Let's jump into this Bad Batch. Now, I have not seen this. I've been holding out. I saw it this morning. I really wanted to watch it this morning, but I didn't. Okay. I really wanted to watch it this morning, but I did not. So I'm going to put that on so you guys can see it. All right, here we go. Let's get into Bad Batch.
We went over the plan 5 times. I got the package, didn't I? We need a pickup.
Hang on. Grab the light.
So, this is the top team. The rogue clones on the run from the Empire, huh?
Hello.
How juicy.
The Empire's growing stronger. We should be doing more.
You want to really be free? Then pull off this heist, and you can have a future.
Rumors are more and more clones have been questioning the Order.
Then they're traitors, like the Jedi.
You all gave up everything because of me.
We made the right choice, Omega. But there are others out there who need our help.
What sort of treachery is this?
Stay back!
We are not the enemy. The Empire seeks to establish peace and order throughout the galaxy.
Peace. Peace was never an option. We're soldiers. We do what needs to be done.
Move! You know what makes us different? We make our own choices. What do you need, Rex? Any chance I could use you for a mission?
Parents, The Bad Batch. New season streaming January 4th. Only on Disney+.
Why the fuck did they say parents at the end?
I don't know.
Very interesting. As you guys have heard me say here over and over again, especially for my Star Wars fans that are in the chat, I did not enjoy Bad Batch season 1. I enjoyed the first episode of Bad Batch. I thought it was great. The first episode, the first hour-long episode where we get to see, although it's different, I do enjoy Kanan's comic more than I enjoyed what they did with him and Depa Biloba's backstory, because I know you know Star Wars too. Yeah. Depa Biloba's backstory in Bad Batch, but I still really loved the first episode of Bad Batch. It was dark. It was adding another point of view of Order 66 that we hadn't seen before. Yeah. It was everything that I wanted the entire season of Bad Batch to be, but unfortunately the first season for me turned into a quest of side missions for the Bad Batch that felt irrelevant, that felt like this is inconsequential to anything that's going on in the galaxy right now, besides those last few episodes, like those last 2 or 3 episodes where Cad Bane and Fennec Shand had showed up and everything like that. You know, seeing Cad Bane, we hadn't seen Cad Bane since like season 4 of Clone Wars. We hadn't seen Cad Bane in a long time, so seeing him in Bad Batch, that was cool. But one thing I like about this is it looks like more clones. That was the most interesting part for me from this trailer. It looks like more clones are going to be disobeying Order 66, because when Crosshairs was talking to Cody, which obviously that was cool, seeing more Cody, because we haven't seen Cody since season 7 of Clone Wars, but we don't really, there's never, even in Legends, there's a backstory on Cody and what he does and who he becomes and everything like that after Order 66, but in Lucasfilm's canon, we don't know what happens to Cody. We don't know. He was loyal to Obi-Wan. Did Cody, in canon, was he accepting of Order 66, or was it one of those things where his chip was malfunctioned? Like it seems like it's malfunctioning for other clones, because it seems like a lot of the clones from the trailer were like, I don't know about this.
Well, and then in which I guess it's episode 3, you have him where he orders him to fire on Obi-Wan, isn't that right?
Yeah, in episode 3.
So, I mean, it could be a deal where because, I mean, that was, correct me if I'm wrong, but in Clone Wars, didn't Rex kind of go a little crazy?
He did.
And then
he did, yeah.
Ahsoka helped him out through that, and then got his ship fixed and taken out, rather. But I'm like you. Whenever Bad Batch Season 1 came out, that first episode, like, you could feel the weight of Order 66, and I love every time they go and they show these different perspectives of that. But yeah, it turned into like you said, the side quest, and then just babysitting Omega, in which I agree, Omega. She hasn't seen the world. She'd been on Kamino the whole time, and but it was just like, Omega, don't go. Then she comes. Okay, well, we'll take you this time, but don't come next time.
Yeah.
And then she ended up going,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's Bad Batch Season 1, it was what it was. But like I said, I love seeing that Clone Wars animation style. I'm glad that, getting to see that back, because when this drops, it'll be almost 2 years since we've seen the first season, which is crazy, the first season of Bad Batch. But another thing that I really like, anytime Palpatine shows up, I get excited, man, because I like this point of view that we're seeing, because we're getting to see him as the Senate. We're actually getting to see him running the Senate. And I hope that I know a lot of people don't really like the political stuff. They think the political stuff in Star Wars is boring. I find the political stuff in Star Wars to be extremely interesting, because it's the catalyst to what is going on in the galaxy. Like, Palpatine was the one that orchestrated the Clone Wars. He was the one that played a role in the politics, pulling the strings and how everything was going to go. Even after the Clone Wars, he was still pulling strings of how the galaxy was going to be shaped and formed. So it's good. It's cool seeing him. It's cool seeing. I'm hoping that it's not just a deal where he's just. It probably is going to be a deal where he's just in the Senate, but that's honestly good enough for me. Seeing Mos Amida next to him too, and I'm hoping that we see Mon Mothma. I didn't watch Andor. Did you? You watched it, didn't you?
No.
No. Okay.
I haven't.
I didn't watch it either. I'm gonna watch it. That was it. I'm gonna watch it. I just haven't watched it yet. But this does feed into Andor. This is gonna feed into Andor, because it's still everything that's going on in Andor is happening obviously before this stuff happens. But it's playing, from my understanding, what I've seen of Andor, it's playing heavy on the things going on with the politics of Star Wars and the Senate. Ian McDermott said before Andor came out, there are a couple of shows you'll feel my presence, but you may not see my face. So I'm wondering if Andor, if we're going to feel his presence maybe in season 2. Because he wasn't in this season, which is odd to me. But maybe in season 2 he'll show up or whatever. I'm not sure. And then obviously with Rex showing up there at the end, with them asking, with Rex saying, "I need you guys' help." Is he with Ahsoka? Where is Ahsoka? Because the last time we saw them, he was with Ahsoka in season 7. Like, obviously in Rebels, he's not with Ahsoka anymore, and we know how that story plays out. But are we at that point in the timeline with Ahsoka and Rex's relationship where they have parted ways, where Rey, where Ahsoka's on her own type of mission, doing her own thing, trying to, at that time, she's trying to figure everything out. The Order 66 just happened. She doesn't know at this time that Vader is Anakin, but she does have her, her theories and things like that. Yeah. So, it could be where she's on her own personal journey at this point. So maybe her and Rex have parted ways. Omega looks older. I like that. And with all this tying together, with Jedi Fallen Order coming out in a few days or a few weeks or months, or whenever that comes out, I forget when that comes out. When that comes out, I'm pretty sure that hopefully with Dave doing this, and Dave and with Kathleen Kennedy on her way out at Lucasfilm, and everything going with the way it is, I'm hoping that Jedi Fallen Order, because we know everything Star Wars ties together. I'm hoping that Jedi Fallen Order Part 2 or Jedi Survivor, I forget what it's called. I hope that ties into Bad Batch in some way. I hope we start to see Cal. I mean, I doubt we're seeing Cal in Bad Batch, but I hope that it ties together to where it makes sense that Cal is out there. We know he's out there. All of this is going on with Star Wars right now, and with Order 66 and the galaxy being transformed into the Galactic Empire. I want to see that. I want to know, obviously, with Boba Fett too, what's going on there. Omega is the last clone that was produced. Boba Fett is the only unaltered clone. I wonder if he knows, about Omega, does anything like that. Also, another question I also had was, or not questions, another thing I noticed there was, you had the Trandoshan's, Trandoshan's, I forgot how you say them, setting Kashyyyk on fire. And you saw Gungi there. The young Wookiee is Gungi. I saw somebody in the chat say, was that Chewbacca? No, that was Gungi. Gungi is a young Wookiee that we met in, I want to say, season 4, season 3-ish maybe.
Yeah, they all get their kyber crystals.
Yeah, when they got their kyber crystals, yeah. Gungi was in that. So that was Gungi there. It's exciting. It's exciting. I'm ready to see it. It looks better than season 1.
It looks like they have a direction. Like, I'm sure in season 1 they had a direction, but like you said, it's just side quest after side quest. Like this, it looks like they've got a main focus. They kind of know where they're going, and yeah, I'm excited for the politics.
Me too.
I mean, just to get a galaxy to at least not overthrow you, right? So they're behind them in some way, whether they think that they're going to keep power. Now, I'm sure. I just want to see how. Maybe we'll get to see a little bit of how Palpatine kind of interacts with the different governments of the galaxy, and just kind of how he keeps them at bay. Because
I'll tell you one thing. The thing that because I've seen that asked before. Like, I've seen people ask that. Like, how does Palpatine fear? Fear is what keeps the locals in line. When you have, because we saw at the end of Episode 3, the Death Star. Actually, let me take it back further. We saw in Episode 2, at the end of Episode 2, Count Dooku took from Poggle being the leader of the Geonosians, took the plans for the Death Star away from Poggle and said that my master will want, these will be safer with my master. So we knew that in Episode 2, the plans for the Death Star were already in motion. At the end of Episode 3, we saw that the Death Star was already being constructed. By Episode 4, it's built. So I think now the Death Star was a secret until, we see in Rogue One that it actually did what it did to Scarif, and then we saw the Rebel Alliance become aware of the Death Star and things like that, but then we saw it again in Episode 4 when it blew up Alderaan. Yeah. I think that's what it is. Now, obviously no one knows about the Death Star right now, but knowing that, and also let me rephrase that, before it was fear that kept the locals in line, it was probably a sympathetic type of deal, because Palpatine is viewed as a victim of the Jedi. He's viewed as he got attacked by the Jedi. The Jedi went crazy, and they made him scarred and deformed. That's why he looks the way he looks. So he's probably playing that victim role to the Senate, where he's like, look what the Jedi did. I mean, he already did that in Episode 3. He's like, the attempt on my life has left me scarred and deformed. And everybody cheered, and everybody was like, oh. So he's already got them on his. And even in the comic books, it goes deeper than that. Like, outside of the Jedi Temple, Mas Amedda, his right-hand man, was outside of the Jedi Temple with different Jedis that were slain, lightsabers, talking about, down with the Jedi, throwing the Jedi's lightsabers into a fire pit, and all the locals of Coruscant cheering, yeah, no more Jedi. Now, obviously, the entire galaxy doesn't think that way, but the mass majority of them do. So yeah, it's very interesting. The last thing I will say about this, though, for the interesting facts of Star Wars. Now, I know we all want Star Wars to be going, for those of us Star Wars fans, we want Star Wars to be moving in a bit of a different direction. Yeah, D. Stizzle said Clone Wars Season 5 was a youngling's arc. We want Star Wars to be moving in a different direction. We've heard that Kathleen Kennedy is going to be leaving the Lucasfilm at the end of the summer of 2023. Well, I've got some bad news. And this hit me as a shock, too, when I heard it. From what it sounds like with Lucasfilm, last week, I had a few people messaging me, telling me, hey, did you see that Daisy Ridley was at Skywalker Ranch with George Lucas? And I said, yeah, I saw it, but I didn't want to see it. and I didn't want to see it because I don't want Daisy Ridley. She's a fine actress, I guess. I mean, I don't really know her anything outside of Star Wars, but I don't want Rey.
Yeah.
You have put a very bad taste in my and if, especially if she's Rey Skywalker. No, I don't want that. And so anyway, she was there for a reason, and she was there because apparently they are moving forward with episodes 10, 11, and 12.
Oh, really?
Jesus. And it's not going to be its own thing. It's going to be set in the distant future from what we've seen last in Rise of Skywalker. It's going to be set in the distant future. We don't know the plot. I don't know. All I can tell you is that Poe, Oscar Isaac, Daisy Ridley as Rey, and Kelly Marie Tran is coming back as Rose. Isn't that shocking? That's shocking because she went through the ringer with Star Wars fans. Star Wars fans were calling her all types of shit, bro. Like, it was bad. It was bad. But she's coming back. Only one that has said no so far, and rightfully so, is John Boyega. He should. And if I've seen people saying, well, they need to throw. No, I don't care how much money they throw at Boyega. I hope he continues to say no. I hope he continues. And some people are like, well, I loved Finn. I loved Finn too. But the way that he was personally treated by Lucasfilm, if you allow money to wipe that wrong, I'm sorry, I just can't. There's not enough money you could throw at me for me to be able to say, okay, yeah, you degraded me, you called me this, you called me that, you shrunk me in the poster, you took me completely out of the second movie.
Yeah,
after you set all that shit up with me in the first.
Just for so much build up to just have him do nothing with his character.
Nothing. To have him asleep the entire second movie. So yeah, if I'm Boyega, I'm like, nah, bro. Fuck Lucasfilm. Fuck Star Wars. I'm not coming back to you guys. Like, I've got other projects, but money talks though. Money does talk, so he may. But that's what we're hearing so far about the future of Star Wars. Even though Kathleen Kennedy is gone, looks like they are still moving forward. Again, I'm not sure if it's going to be titled episodes 10, 11, and 12. But it will for sure be set in the distant future with Rey and maybe possibly her with a Jedi.
See, I think the only way the only way Boyega comes is, one, like you said, the money, and then two, if they justify or bring justice to his character.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I would come back for that, just for the fans, the people who want to see, wanted to see him, more of him with the lightsaber. I mean, where was that going?
Lucasfilm has no idea because they have no idea. So, like I said, Bad Batch looks good. Bad Batch Season 2 looks good. I'm excited to see Pal. I'm excited to see Cody. I'm excited to see what's going on with the clones and them. Just some of the clones just obeying Order 66. Is Ahsoka going to be in this? Is it going to tie to anything overall? Like, where are we going here? So I'm excited.
We hear a little bit of Fulcrum.
Maybe. At this point, she is Fulcrum right now. She is Fulcrum. Wait a minute. Where does Tales of the Jedi? We saw in Tales of the Jedi when Bail Organa was talking to her at Padme's funeral. He handed her that set the stepping stones for Fulcrum because he handed her that comm and said, "If you ever need anything, reach out to me." That's how she's, because in Rebels we find out through Bail Organa that he's communicating with someone named Fulcrum, and only he knows who Fulcrum is, and obviously that's Ahsoka. We learned that in Rebels. So at this point, she may already be Fulcrum. We might see that. I didn't even think about that. We might even see that. So, yeah, like I said, I can go on for Star Wars for days. But as always, question is for you guys. Let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking about what's going on with Bad Batch. Does it look better than the first season to you? Does it look like it's going to be a more of a side quest and missions and things like that, or does it actually looks like we're going somewhere with the season? What are your thoughts on some of that Star Wars news moving forward with Lucasfilm? Even though KK is gone, she is gone. Even though she's gone, it looks like they still may be continuing, which is wildly crazy to me, continuing with the Rey sequel trilogy stuff. So let us know, and if you're a sequel trilogy lover, that is fantastic. I, however, am not. It can burn. So let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking about that. I'll touch some of these comments really quick. We've got
Nari said, I don't think John would ever come back.
I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't. He shouldn't.
Zhang Beto said, we need an Old Republic series centered around Malgus and Saddleson.
I would love an Old Republic series around Malgus. But you know, if KK's gone, we might, as Star Wars fans, we might get blessed. We might get a Dave or John that say, hey, let's dive into some of this Old Republic stuff. That's what people want to see. You know, that's what I say when I say Lucasfilm doesn't have their ear to the ground. We screamed Old Republic. They screamed High Republic. I'm like, no. We didn't want to see the High Republic.
No, not at all.
Like, tell me if you read the High Republic books, is it interesting? I tried. I was uninterested. The only thing for High Republic that interests me is Eclipse, the game that's coming out, the trailer I showed you guys. That's the only thing that interests me about High Republic. The rest of that shit can go.
King Rico said, what was the point of the little boy looking at the ship at the end of episode 6 or 7?
It was the end of episode it was at the end of episode 8. It was at the end of what is that one? The Last Jedi. There was no point, Rico. Was it Rico that said that? Yeah, King Rico. There was no point. Lucasfilm put that in there because Rian Johnson came in after everything that J.J. Abrams put in episode 7. Rian Johnson came in, erased that completely, and said, nah, I'm going to do my own film and just completely go off of everything that you just put in the first film. And it is the absolute worst Star Wars film of all 8 of them. And I only count 6 of them. I don't count 7, 8, and 9. In my Star Wars saga, it goes in 1 through 6, and I count the Mando stuff, the Tales. I count the shit I like. Right. That's my canon. That's my canon. So, yeah, they threw that in there with no plan at all.
Zhang Beto said, Lucasfilms fumbled their best character. Finn should have been a Jedi.
Finn should have been a Jedi. It doesn't make any sense for him to had been sidelined that entire second episode.
Raymond said, Boyega is for us for real. He ain't taking the bait of money. Run, Boyega, run.
He should run, bro. He should. Boyega has not been silent about how he was treated either. And again, every time he speaks up about it, I always share it on my Instagram story. I'm like, yes, Boyega, talk your shit, bro. Like, there's no way he should just sit there and let Lucasfilm treat him the way that they treated him. And, you know, he came out after the Moses Ingram stuff and said, well, at least they're handling Moses Ingram's better than they handled mine. But you could still tell when he was talking about that, he was still pissed. Like, yeah, they're handling hers good, and I'm happy that they're handling hers good because it's a problem within the Star Wars community. But they just told John, fuck off. So, yeah, bro.
What does fuck me for?
Yeah.
Nari said, I would prefer a Darth Vader series.
Oh, I would love that. If done right, I would love it.
D. Steezel said, I can see Lucasfilm using elements from the Star Wars Legacy era for the new trilogy and get it wrong again.
Yeah. I could too.
D. Steezel also said, Kathleen Kennedy's swan song before she's officially canned.
Yeah, Kathleen, they're going to let her do her little farewell tour. She's going on her what do they call it in the her Kobe tour. She's going on her Kobe tour. She's gonna finish. She's gonna get Indy 5 out. She's gonna make sure that everybody loves Indy 5. But when Indy 5 is over and she goes back to her office,
this is it.
Yeah, this is it tour. When she goes back to her office, they're gonna have KK shit packed in boxes, name tag off the door. They're gonna be like, hey, it's been a ride, hasn't it?
This is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
What did Mike say? This is it. This is the final curtain call. This is it.
Oh, way better, just like that. Spoiler King said super hyped for season 2.
So am I, bro. So am I.
Let's see. Spoiler Kings also said Jedi Survivor trailer drops tomorrow too.
Okay, it drops tomorrow. Okay.
And then Kenny Pierce said Jedi Survivor makes me need a PS5.
Mm-hmm.
D. Steele said as soon as the Death Star is fully operational, Sidious dissolves the Senate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in episode 4, when you hear Tarkin come in with Vader after all the other officers are talking, there's that empty seat, just a fun fact. which is not a fact when Episode 4 originally came out, but after Rogue One, it became a Star Wars fact in canon. The empty seat that is in that room that all the officers are talking in when Vader and Tarkin walk in is for Krennic. We saw Krennic die, obviously, in Rogue One, but that seat was his seat. So when they walk in, you hear them talking about the Emperor having control. What did the dude say? He said this battle station is now the most. I forget what he says. I haven't watched 4 in so long. I forget what he said. This battle station is the singular most something in the galaxy. And then the dude says the Emperor must maintain control of the Senate if he's to hope, and then he gets cut off, and then Tarkin comes in and says the Emperor has dissolved of the Senate. So yeah, this after like D. Stizzle said, once he gets the Death Star fully operational to where he can actually put the fear of God in motherfuckers, he's like, yeah, no more Senate, because I literally am the Senate. Yeah.
I am the Senate.
Yeah.
D. Steele said, I'm not even interested in the Acolyte because I don't trust the showrunners besides Dave Filoni. Lucasfilm hasn't handled dark side users correctly.
You want to know why I'm not interested in Acolyte? Because Star Wars isn't interested in Acolyte. Lucasfilm is not interested in Acolyte. Every single time we have one of these cons, or whatever the fuck they're called, let's go SDCC, let's go D23, let's go CPX, whatever it was, the Brazilian one. Every single time Lucasfilm gets on the stage, they talk about shit that they talked about in 2019. We fucking know. We know what's coming out. You've told us this. This is the same shit you've been talking about for 3 years. We know what's coming out. Talk about Acolyte. Talk about Mando season. I mean, hell, they've been talking about Mando season 3. Talk about Acolyte, though. What do we know? That's your next big thing coming out. And we don't know anything about it besides what the story's going to somewhat be about in the cast. We know nothing. And it was announced in 2019. I want to make that very clear.
Do they have an official trailer for that yet? Or is
There's nothing. That's why I don't care, because Lucasfilm doesn't care. They don't care. So why should I care? You don't care about your own project. Why should I care? This is the issues I have with Lucasfilm. Go ahead.
King Ringo said, wasn't there a Chewbacca Jedi in Clone Wars, the episode where the Padawans was building their lightsabers?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's what you were saying. Yeah, that's Gunji. That's him.
And then D. Steele said, I like season 1, but they don't need to ease fans into these storylines. Just jump right into it.
That's my issue. If you are jumping into Star Wars at Bad Batch and you're like, oh, I'm confused. That's not our problem. That's not our problem. Star Wars is an interconnective story that if you want to understand it, you gotta watch it from the beginning. You can't jump in at Bad Batch. And then I agree with him what he's saying. Don't ease, like, I don't want another season 1. I don't want to, like, that honestly felt like I rented a game from, like I was 10. Like I rented a game from Blockbuster or Hastings and I was playing missions with the Bad Batch. Like, hey, you guys did it with that one lizard. I forget her name. Hey, you guys did it. You ready to go on your next quest?
Yeah, now you got money. Yeah, you got money to go fucking Rex buys shit ton of food. And I mean,
I hated it. I hated it. Yeah. So, yeah, no, I agree with you. Stop easing fans into this shit. If you don't know it, sorry.
Gray said they already got her boxes packed with it. Don't let the door hit you or the good Lord split you. Stickers all over them.
Oh, yeah, they're ready for her to go. But are they ready for her to go? And I say that because if you're ready for her, if they're really ready for Kathleen to go, why are you still doing episodes 10, 11, and 12 with the same people we all hated? I don't want to say mass majority of Star Wars fans hate the sequel trilogy.
And this is just a complete, like, disconnect from your fan base.
Because they don't care. They don't have their ear to the ground. They just don't.
Raymond said, I thought The Bad Batch was a reality series on Animal Planet, but it's a Star Wars show. Seems cool. And again, I say I haven't watched anything Star Wars besides TFA.
TFA. Oh, The Force Awakens. See, I'm telling you, I don't fuck with the sequel trilogy. If he would have said RTJ, Return of the Jedi. I know that. Like, CW Clone Wars. I know that.
Yeah,
but when you're giving me acronyms for shit, I don't. Yeah, nah. I no. Not saying you, Raymond. I'm just saying that's how little I care about the sequel trilogy.
Official Liam G said big DCU news just came out, looking like Momoa's Aquaman is done along with Gal, but might be recast as Lobo.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know enough. I've seen that. I don't know enough because there's not enough that's been come out yet for me to be able to really say, or I guess give a thought on what's going on in the DCU. Because as I keep saying, when we talk about the DCU, we gotta see the Flash first. We have to see Flash first.
We might as well just wait until we start talking about the Flash. That's pretty much it though, and everything. Kenny said I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to remake the OG trilogy.
What? Are we talking Star Wars?
That can't be.
Oh, brother, when I tell you...
They got the wrong people in there for that.
Even if I didn't have the money, some way, somehow, I would find my way to Santa Monica and I would burn Lucasfilm to the ground myself. If you ever touch the original trilogy, and I'm not talking the shit that George has gone in there and tinkered and edited and added. I hate that shit too. But if they ever touch it and say, oh, we're going to nigga... I would be... No, they can never touch what's been done. They don't need to. They don't need to.
Sure says Fulcrum is a code name, not Ahsoka. No, we know.
Fulcrum is Ahsoka's code name.
Right.
Now, you guys can correct me on my Marvel stuff. You can correct me on my DC. Yeah. I know Star Wars. Fulcrum is Ahsoka's code name. It's not it's not a person, but she doesn't go by Ahsoka because Jedi are still being hunted down and killed. And if she goes by Ahsoka, well then it's gonna be just like when Vader came up with Ahsoka when he came face to face with her the last time. What did he say? The apprentice lives. He had no idea that she was alive. Then when he went back and told Palpatine, he didn't care about anything Palpatine had to say. The only thing he wanted to get out was Ahsoka's alive. How are we handling this? Blah, 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 blah. So if she's just going around saying, hey, guys, I'm Ahsoka. Hey, guys, I'm helping. This is Ahsoka helping. The next target for the Death Star is whatever planet she's on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if Vader hears that, Vader's going to have something to say if he hears Ahsoka's name. And he knows that she's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. D-Stizzle, I can see Lucasfilm using elements from the Star Wars Legacy era for the new trilogy and get it wrong again.
I think we read that one.
I was going to say, I read pretty much all of those.
Okay.
So yeah. That's what's going on with Star Wars. With there, so we'll jump into the next topic. Next topic is going to be The Flash. So let's talk about what's going on with The Flash. Let me get this pulled up here really quick. As we know, we have not talked... Well, actually, hold on one second. Let me get that article pulled up. Because we haven't talked Ezra Miller or The Flash.
Sure says, I meant Fulcrum is being used by everyone who's against the Empire.
Before we start this...
Let's see here. Bear with me one moment. I'm getting that up.
Animation and Mando, D-Stizzle, Animation and Mando are the only areas that's really popping right now.
That's it.
I mean, that's
it.
Yeah.
I mean, I completely agree with you. Animation and Mando are the only things that are popping for Lucasfilm right now. Again, it's sad, bro. It's sad. Outside of that, Lucasfilm gets there is no excitement. I can't tell you, I'm not sitting here twiddling my fingers for Bad Batch. I'm ready to see it, but January 4th will get here when January 4th gets here. It's not one of those things where I'm like, oh my God, I haven't felt like that for I can't tell you the last time I felt like that for Lucasfilm. It damn sure wasn't Obi-Wan, because even when Obi-Wan was announced in 2019, I said, for why? Why are you fucking with canon? But Boba Fett, I was high on Book of Boba Fett. I really was. I thought Book of Boba Fett was going to be great because when he came in, killed Bib Fortuna in Jabba's palace, and then sat there, and then Finnick leaned up against his throne with her gun. I'm like, bruh, that shit's going to be dope because he's a bounty hunter. We're about to be dealing with some criminal underground world shit. And it turned into Boba being the community good guy.
Like the sheriff or something.
I was like, oh, okay. They don't care. So, so let's move in here. This is going to be on The Flash. Now, we haven't talked about Ezra Miller or The Flash in quite some time because they have seemingly, at least I haven't seen anything, they've seemingly been to themselves and quiet, and I wonder if this is having to deal with what Zaslav and Warner Brothers met with them about a couple months back when it was those 3 different conditions. Forget exactly what they were, but I know one of them had something to do with staying out of the limelight, making sure that you're not getting into any more trouble with everything that they've been doing. So one of the things here, sorry. Let me jump into the article and what they were saying about the Flash there. And this is coming from IndieWire. Let me pull it for me. IndieWire had this to say about the Flash. It said, Deadline has reported that the response to early test screenings for The Flash have been overwhelmingly positive, with some anonymous sources saying that the film is as good as Disney's Spider-Man No Way Home. The film reportedly features nostalgia, invoking cameos from Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck that have played extremely well with fans. The strong response has caused Warner Brothers to move the film's 2023 release date up by a week. The film was originally scheduled to open in theaters on June 23rd, 2023, but will now open on June 16th. The slot positions the film to compete for a larger portion of the Father's Day weekend box office with Pixar's Elemental and Sony's Jennifer Lawrence's comedy No Hard Feelings as the film's only major competition. It's not yet clear whether the positive early responses to The Flash will prompt Warner Brothers and new DC Studios CEO James Gunn and Peter Safran, who were hired after The Flash was already completed, to reconsider working with Miller, I doubt it, on future projects. Miller issued an apology for their behavior and pledged to seek treatment for their mental health in August. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. It was back in August that all that was going on. So, to answer that last part there, no. At least I don't think so. Obviously, I'm not Peter Safran or James Gunn, but I've seen some people out there even making this comparison. Well, James Gunn has a personal relationship with Ezra Miller. James Gunn is this, James Gunn is that. James Gunn is no longer just a director for DC. He is the CEO of DC. So certain decisions he made as a director, he cannot make as a CEO. And I think as a CEO of, the new CEO of DC, bringing Ezra Miller anywhere into your newly rebooted DC franchise that you're trying to do, it's a bad idea. Ezra Miller has shown us at least 45 times in the last year, from headlines alone, just how unbalanced and off the wall they really are. You never know from one minute to the next if he's going to choke a fan.
Fuck that.
They're going to throw a chair at a fan.
They've just done some bizarre shit.
Hold children hostage in barns.
I was gonna say even if they are
grooming children,
right? That's
even if they are better. That's just some bizarre shit that's been done. I wouldn't want that near my business as a CEO or anything. And I mean, we always talked about if they would release what they would do with this Flash and everything. I mean, in business terms speaking, it does make the most sense to just release it after time, given how much money they put into it and everything. Given we're probably getting some sort of reboot with everything. They want to go a new direction, or whether that's Black Adam being the first movie and that, and then going with Henry Cavill. But we know some of this really isn't going to make or mean a lot to the DC's future or anything. So, I mean, I don't see why. I mean, like, just to answer what they said in the article and what you were talking about real quick, I don't think they would be bringing Ezra Miller back into the future. I mean, I just think, it makes the most sense to... They'd waste so much money if they didn't release this movie. and so they kind of
Yeah.
have to. But I mean, the good thing is that Ezra Miller has been able to stay out of the headlines and everything. Like, the good thing is that they have been doing somewhat better. Just to what we know, we haven't been hearing anything, and so that's the good thing, that their name hasn't been in any headlines recently or anything. Because, like you said, the last time we were talking about them was what, August, September, stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
it's been a while.
hopefully, I mean, if things keep going the same way until the release, I mean, hopefully then we can say that they've gotten better and everything like that, and then we can at least enjoy this movie without that stuff being fresh on our mind and everything. But I mean, I don't see a reason to bring it into the future and risk something like that with such a huge character like the Flash.
No, I'm sure Warner Brothers moving it up a week is them just simply saying, I mean, it's only a week, but me personally, I would have moved it up.
Shit, 2, 3. This.
I'd have
Let's
moved
get
it up.
this bitch out whenever we can.
Yeah.
I'd have moved it up in February, March.
I'd say March. I wouldn't go right after Ant-Man, but March.
I mean, it doesn't matter for DC.
It doesn't, but still.
Because this, at the end of the day, this film still is going to be the catalyst into the new DCU that we see. So whatever happens in this film, it's going to shape what we're seeing moving forward in the DCU. So,
But I'm just saying, don't you think DC or James Gunn want people, or at least the public, or majority public, to see this movie, though, if it's going to be shaping the future?
oh, that's right. Ant-Man and the Wasp does come out in February.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe wait till March, April, sometime like that, because, you know, Marvel's next movie isn't until summer, I think.
Yeah,
And so
then,
April,
then
late
March.
March-ish would be cool.
Then March, but
Because I think this is still a movie that they're releasing for a reason. They want people to see it because, like you said, it's going to shape something somehow, some way in the future of what they're doing and stuff. And so they definitely want people to see this movie. I just don't know. Like you said in the article, pushing up a week is to get Father Day sales. I mean, they already said that.
I mean, well,
so.
not only that, it's also said, which we've heard. This is way before IndieWire. When the test screenings originally came out for this film, we heard it's phenomenal. Everybody was saying that.
Yeah.
Everybody, I've still not heard anything bad about it.
I mean, in this article, they just compared it to No
No
Way
Way
Home.
Home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
wait
bit
a
of a
minute.
that's
I mean,
a
but
bit of a
still,
stretch.
Who said that?
This is IndieWire talk or Deadline. Deadline was saying this, and this is just IndieWire covering what Deadline said.
They compared it to them.
That's a bit of a stretch for me. I mean, there's not been a DC project that's made me go, whoa. You know, I haven't had
You
one.
think Ezra Miller being the Flash is going to give us any sort of biased feelings towards the movie or anything? Or you think we're viewers and us, even ourselves, are going to be able to just be like, oh,
I'm gonna be able to view it, but the whole time you're like, oh, he's a groomer.
And in my head, you know, I've always, ever since I saw him in that, was it, when did he first?
Perks of being a wallflower, or are you talking
it was
about
Justice League?
Oh yeah,
when he first came into DC.
Oh, Justice League.
Justice League. Whenever I saw him, and I was like, "That's the Flash." Like he just
you
did.
just weren't a fan.
Yeah,
I don't like the way he
his
plays it.
acting
I don't
style.
like
Yeah,
his Flash either.
his acting
Yeah.
style doesn't do it.
I don't
Then again, I
Flash
don't
for
like
me.
how DC does the Flash either. How they always do that fucking slowing down and slow motion with the speedsters and shit.
Not
That's
just, not
another
just
reason
with
I
the
haven't-
Flash. They do
Yeah.
that in general.
But I'm saying
It's
that's
just like,
mainly
Jesus.
the
whole
Flash is
movie.
mainly sped up though, so that's like most of his scenes are like that. So I'm not even really able to enjoy the Flash because he's always slow motion.
He's
like,
not himself.
Almost breaking the wall because the nigga's looking at the camera, running in slow motion. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Is
The only
going
time
on?
I liked when he was running slow motion, they slowed the camera down, was when he was running slow motion and Superman.
just to show
eye to
how
eye.
fast Superman was.
Yeah,
Like,
Superman
that's-
caught him eye to eye, and I was like, oh, see, now that's dope. That part's dope. But the way that they handle, not just the
Even
way that they
do
handle
Wonder
him,
Woman-
but
it's every DC speedster scene.
Ezra himself, or theirselves, is that correct in that term? Himself, theirselves? Ezra themselves. I want Barry from the Flashpoint comic or the animated film. That's the Barry I would want, not the Barry that Ezra gives. And maybe he's just doing his, whatever version of he's doing. But I don't
Do you
care
know what
for
the
it.
overall, like, the popular opinion on Ezra Miller's Flash is? Like, if they like Them as the Flash.
I know a lot of people do like him.
Do?
Like them as the Flash. A lot of people do like them as the Flash. But this is what it's going to be going up against with it coming out in a week. So, or a week. Them moving it up a week. So June's not a bad place for it. It says, well, again, I would still move it up. But it said June 2nd. This is everything come out in June. Okay? So this is what it's going to be competing with somewhat. June 2nd, Across the Spider-Verse comes out. June 16th, The Flash and Elementals, Pixar's sequel to... Why am I blinking? Pixar's sequel to With All the Emotions. Damn.
It's Inside Out.
Inside Out. No, I'm sorry. This is not
Yeah,
their
it's
sequel
great.
to Inside Out. That would be Inside Out 2. This is completely different. It's its own film. This is Elemental. I don't know what I'm thinking. This is Pixar's film Elemental coming out in January 16th. Then June 3rd is going to be Indiana Jones 5. So, with it coming out, the reason I believe they put it out a week earlier than Indiana Jones 5 is simply because they don't want to compete with Indy. And you're putting, because I don't think Indy's about to like blow the box office out of the water, but it's definitely it's definitely gonna do good, for sure.
It's not gonna bomb or nothing.
And despite my personal lack of excitement for Indiana Jones, like it's going to do fine. It'll do fine in the box office for sure. So the separation that they're making there with that is obviously not to compete with Indy, and then to have that second weekend drop off, because see, your first weekend that you're going to be competing with the with Elemental, which I don't really know that that's a competition for. It's a Pixar film. I don't know that that's big competition for the Flash though. I just don't think so. Maybe in the kids department. Even then, I don't know. I just don't know that it's a big competition for the Flash. It's a Pixar film. If properly advertised, it's going to do numbers. But I think that that first weekend you're going to have it competing with Elementals, but then that second weekend, that second weekend, that's typically where we might possibly see a drop off, but we may not see a drop off in numbers. I think the second week is going to be the Flash's. I think it's still going to have a strong second weekend. I think it's going to have a strong first weekend. I think it's going to have a strong second weekend because, as we've talked about before, the general audience that's going to go see this film, they're not looking up IndieWire articles like we are. They're not looking up what Screen Rant had to say or comicbook.com. They don't know what Ezra Miller has been doing for the past 2 years.
Especially by the time this movie's out, there may be recent good articles about Ezra Miller and stuff. And so if this film is as good as people are saying and everything, I mean, that first weekend everyone goes see it. Like we always say, the word of mouth. Second weekend, if it's as good as everyone says, first weekend we spread that word. Second weekend's going to do just as good or better, like you said. So, I mean, I agree. It makes sense. But that just banks on if the movie is as good as people are saying it is right now.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we've got the Keaton cameo. My Time to Shine Hello said something very interesting that I'm about to pull up. And I just thought about it. And this is one of the first times I didn't agree with My Time to Shine Hello. And I typically always agree with My Time to Shine Hello because she's never really wrong when it comes to I can't think of many times that she's been wrong when it comes to some of the things that she leaks out and things like that. But this is what she said about The Flash. Hold on, let me find that exactly. Someone tweeted DC reboot incoming. She said yes, but that's not where, because when she tweeted this I said what? Let me see. She said she's been retweeting a lot of shit.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I forget. Rise of Beast comes out. The Rise of Beast comes out on June 9th, before the weekend before The Flash. I forgot about that. Let me find that. Because she said somebody wasn't gonna be in what the fuck?
Now you're getting
okay.
Now you're getting lost.
Yeah. Okay. I don't. I'm sorry. That thumbnail threw me all the way off. Wow. Okay. I don't know what because now I'm distracted. So I don't remember exactly what she said. I think it was something like Ben or it was one of the Batmans or something wasn't gonna be in the film. No, yes, that's what she said. Superman's still not in the film. DC still moving forward with the same plans. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I typically don't disagree with My Time to Shine Hello, but I was like, what the fuck? That was one of the first time I went to tweet her and say, hot fucking take, because...
That's what she wants?
No, that's
what she's saying.
That's what she's saying is going to happen.
Predicting.
That there's still... Because we heard reports that Superman was showing up in the film at the end in a post-credit scene or something like he did in Black Adam. But since we've seen him in Black Adam, we've seen Henry Cavill make his personal video to everyone saying things are back. If he's back, then it can't be the same plan that DC was moving forward with because they never had Superman in those fucking plans. So for her to say there's no Superman, I was like, I don't know that you know what's going on with the Flash because that's not something we've been hearing. I've been hearing that Superman is now if he doesn't show up in it, okay, that's whatever. I don't need Superman to show up in the Flash, but I don't. The part that got me was them moving on with the same plans. No, they're not. It's a complete reboot. They're redoing everything. Like, yes, the Flash is going to set up but it's the Flashpoint. It's supposed to be a reboot. That's what happens in the Flashpoint. Whenever Flash goes back, whenever he changes shit, it resets everything. As if some things are still... It resets everything. So it's going to be resetting everything that the DCEU currently was. Like, I've seen everybody in the chat talking about Gal, however you say her name, Gal Gadot. I can never say her name. Gal Gadot. Everybody talking about Gal, and is she going to be replaced? And I've seen some of the stuff out there, but I cannot give because I couldn't give you a definitive, obviously, yes or no anyway, but I can't even give you a theory on it because I've read it, but I have to see what's going on with this verse, or some more information is going to have to come out from them or leak or something as we get closer to the Flash. I don't know that Gal's gone. I know that Aquaman Momoa is more than likely going to be Lobo because that's what James Gunn wants. I mean, that was kind of teased out a couple weeks ago.
He wants it too.
Yeah, so he wants it too. Yeah, he's got the voice. He looks like he could do it. So
plus, I mean, they don't really need to do Aquaman. I mean, they do. It'd be cool to have them, but I mean
if you're gonna
do it correctly.
League,
that's
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I want that Young Justice Aquaman. Did you watch Young Justice? You watched Young Justice.
I haven't watched it yet. No.
Yeah, Young Justice is great. I want the Young Justice Aquaman. That's Aquaman. If I'm gonna have an Aquaman, give me that Young Justice Aquaman. Because I'm not an Aquaman fan anyway. But if you're gonna give him to me, give me that Young Justice Aquaman.
I just don't want the shit I got.
Or from the older animated series, the older Justice League.
Yeah. Or that Aquaman. That Aquaman was dope too.
Cuts off his own hand.
Yeah, that Aquaman was dope too. So one of those for sure. But she did say Aquaman 2 screened, no Affleck. We heard that Ben Affleck had possibly been taken out of Aquaman. I think they maybe kept Keaton in. But you remember that at one point they had removed Keaton and put Ben Affleck in. I don't know what's going on with Ben Affleck. I personally, that's my favorite Batman. I would like Ben Affleck to be back as Batman personally, but don't know if that's happening. Then she said this. It was this came from the DC syndicate that said, "Let me tell you something very important. Let me tell you something very important to you all." I'm telling you, bro. Don't overreact to test screenings results, even if it's extremely positive or negative. Test screening results are not final product. By the way, looks like they screened an older cut, so don't expect much change from the last one. To where My Time to Shine Hello said it wasn't an older cut, and that's not how it works. They probably shot the scene with Affleck in case the movie comes out before Flash, but now that it's coming out after, they kept Keaton and removed Affleck. Which, I mean, yeah, I guess it does make sense if Affleck is going to be showing up, and if he's supposed to, if his last hurrah from what we've seen for DC is in the Flash, then I guess that does make sense, because it wouldn't make sense for him to show up in Aquaman if I don't know if he dies in the Flash. I don't know how it works in the Flash. I don't know how that's working. But it wouldn't make sense if that's the truth. So
have we gotten any plot leaks or anything for this?
Yeah, we got one. It was a while ago.
Like, do you think that one a while ago though is?
I think it's still the accurate one.
Be accurate with all the changes and shit going on.
I think it's still the accurate one. The only thing that I remember from it, because it was a while ago, the only thing I remember was that it deals with, help me, Kal-El from Krypton, who was trying to. Why am I blanking?
Zod.
Thank you, Zod. It deals with Zod. Zod's supposed to be coming back. Zod is supposed to be one of the main focal points, if not the focal villain in this film.
I don't want that.
I'm just telling you what I heard.
I don't want that.
Raymond said, "Where can he find? If you know, where could he find them?"
Raymond, let me find that again, and then I will. I'll get that. Let me actually see if I can find it. Yeah. So, like I said, that's kind of the things going on with the Flash. And although Miller has been quiet 7 months, because this film doesn't come out for another 7 months, is a very, very long time.
Oh yeah. All it takes is
one fucked up day.
For him. They don't take a day.
It could.
They better have him on house arrest.
It take him to wake up on the wrong side of the bed for someone to piss in his their Cheerios, and it's game over.
So 7 months is a very long time. Last thing I'll say about Miller is I'm still not convinced if they let him do press stuff. We don't know if they're gonna let them. My apologies. We don't know if we're gonna let them do press stuff or not. But if they do let them do press things, as I've said in many videos about Ezra Miller, I don't know how you do that. Because I promise you, I don't care if you give me certain things you want me to ask him before he steps on the red carpet. I'm asking him the main question we all want to know. What the fuck was going through your mind? Like, what were you doing when you groomed Dakota Iron Eyes? What were you doing when you choked that fan that wanted a picture? What were your thoughts on the weed and kidnapping that mom and her children and keeping them in the barn?
At a lady in her own house.
Why did they terrorize Hawaii?
Why you run around an island terrorizing that shit?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, bro. You didn't know anything?
There's so much that the last thing I knew about was him like going across the country with that kid or whatever,
oh yeah,
and disappearing. I'm like. But I knew, that there was other things going on. I just hadn't dug into it that much.
Yeah, bro. They were an active volcano in Hawaii for sure. They
erupted.
That whole Dakota Iron Eyes thing, bro. He told her mother. Sorry, I want to make sure I'm being correct here. They told her mother that their union, they're being married or trying to get married or wanting to get married or whatever he wants with, or whatever they want with her, that their union was going to bring up forth an apocalyptic war.
Bro, this
in that she was the Native American indigenous princess or something.
This nigga said they believe that they are the Flash and that they're the Messiah.
Yes, that's what it was.
Like Ezra
they
Miller
said
was
they're the
Messiah. Yeah,
that's what
when I read that shit, I was like, nah, bro. I was like, that has lost it, bro.
Anywho.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
any fucking who.
Yeah, so that's what's going on with the Flash. It has been moved up to that week. I personally, I still do want to see the Flash. I still do want to see the movie because I'm interested to see what you're doing with. How is this shaping?
What the future is,
yeah, that's what I want to know. How is this film shaping the DCU?
Yeah, just get it unfolded a little bit.
Yeah. I would really like to see that. But as always, question is for you guys. Let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking. Are you anticipating the Flash? Or is the Flash one that's not on your radar because of things that were going on? No wonder I look so dark. Will you turn my lights on?
Oh shit.
I'm like, why do I look off colored? But let us know down below. Like I said, if you are thinking that The Flash is still going to be a good film, is it something that you're wanting to see? Is it something that you're like, nah, I'm good. I don't have to see this because of everything that Ezra Miller has been on for the past 2 years? Or is it one where you're like, yeah, I care because I love DC like I do. I love DC, so I want to know how are you fixing the future of the DCU. So let us know below in the comments what you guys are thinking, and let's touch those.
Raymond said, I got it. Ezra is actually Kang. Grand Regent Thrag said, I didn't really like Ezra Miller's Flash. Has nothing to do with what he's been on for me. Just assuming.
Yeah,
I don't really like Ezra Miller's Flash either.
Yeah, that's where I was at with it. It wasn't,
like
it
nothing,
wasn't anything.
It wasn't even nothing personal at that point. Like you just start doing that shit to yourself.
Yeah.
Gray said somebody's going to ask Ezra those questions just to see that look on their publicist's face.
I'm telling you, I would. If I was on the red carpet, I would ask. There's no way bro. I'm gonna.
It's questions that have to be asked. Right?
But you gotta ask that shit and immediately kind of hold up, make sure he don't do nothing, because Ezra the type you ask Ezra Miller that question, nigga might punch you dead. Like nigga deadass might try to throw something at you, or like I don't even know, bro. Like from the shit I've heard from him, he's just I don't know. I don't even want to say nothing negative. Like I said back then when we were talking about him. Dan the Man said, I thought about Alexander Skarsgård as Aquaman. It's too safe for me. Let Alan Richardson take over as Aquaman as he should all those years ago from Smallville.
I wouldn't mind it.
Sir Yuri G said Ezra was a real life Reverse Flash.
Yeah, definitely.
And then he said, I'm waiting for the day that Warner Brothers actually gives some good news for their live action movies and sticks with it.
That'd be a nice day.
And then Grand Regent
I think it's coming.
Said, no Black Adam sequel? ?
This is what we know about Black Adam. And this, I retweeted this, and I'll read you what The Rock posted today. I retweeted it because I thought it was funny. He said,
niggas trying to hate on him.
waited to confirm with financials before I shared this excellent Black Adam news. From what I've heard and what I've seen, Black Adam didn't do good. But I said it wasn't, though. I said Black Adam was not going to do good. It was a good movie. I loved Black Adam. I've seen it 4 times now. Not in theater. I've only seen it in theaters once, but I've seen it 4 times now. And I love Black Adam. But I knew it wasn't going to make the money that everybody was talking about it was going to make. Black Adam news. Our film will profit between $52 million and $72 million. Fact. He made sure he put that. Now, that's on a separate line. It's its own line. Fact is in its own line.
Period. Next line.
Then it said at almost, yeah, that's really what it is. It said at almost 400 worldwide, we are building our new franchise step by step. Then he added this. This was a little jab. First Captain America did $370 million. For the DC future. So wait a minute. He put at almost 400 million worldwide, we are building our new franchise step by step. And then in parentheses, within that sentence, the first Captain America film did. Yeah, let me just Cap real quick. So he basically, to me, what I got from that was The Rock saying, "Mind your motherfucking business, bitch. We're good over here.
Up over here, and we're okay with how we're." But I mean, is he wrong though?
I don't think he's wrong. I don't think he's wrong at all.
But who was expecting Black Adam to go?
Oh, there were people. I don't know why.
Though? Why?
One of our... The person that sits next to you. I love Trey. But Trey... You remember that day?
I do.
Trey argued me down that Black Adam was going to be this spectacular film because The Rock was in it.
Yeah.
And I never understood that, bro. Like I said so many times... This ain't Jungle Cruise. This ain't Jumanji. This ain't Hobbs and Shaw. This is none of that, bro. This is a beloved character that majority of people didn't even know who he was. I told you I've had co-workers say, I thought Black Adam was black. Like, people don't even know who he is. It didn't matter if The Rock was playing him. It always came down to the comic book sweaties, the fans that really know this character. Like, people weren't convinced that he was
Raymond said
going to be Black Adam. I wasn't convinced. I mean, he was good as Black Adam in the film, but I had my issues with it. His ears weren't pointed. You can call this nitpick if you want. His ears weren't pointed. He wasn't speaking with an accent. You completely changed his backstory. I was just like, you've been working on this since 2007, and that's what
we get.
Raymond said the movie was in development since Baby Bush was president. I knew that film was gonna be mid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, bro. So it's just like, I think they're doing it. They're doing a Black Adam sequel. They are doing a Black Adam sequel for sure, because I believe since he tweeted that, this fits in the realm of where they wanted the film. Probably not where they wanted the film to hit, but it's a good enough number for them. So since that's the number that they got for the film, all the positive reaction from Henry Cavill being back, the positive reaction of, despite what you may think, the reaction for his Black Adam was positive. It was positive. I didn't really see too many negative posts about it.
I didn't mind his Black Adam. I didn't
mind his Black Adam.
For what he was given, I mean, the dialogue, everything, his power level, and all his action scenes, I enjoyed him.
Yeah, like you
that's
said,
what I said. I enjoyed the movie.
If you go in there for the action, it's perfect.
Don't go in there looking for a heartfelt or any type of storyline or no shit like that. But I mean, if you go in there and just want to watch The Rock kick some niggas' ass,
don't go for Dr. fucking Fate either.
Oh, definitely don't go for Dr. Fate.
That
you want to say about something that pissed me off?
Yeah.
This was not the year for mystical doctors, was it?
This should have been over.
Like that,
Fate,
bro. So that was my biggest thing I was looking forward to for Black Adam was Dr. Fate. And I remember saying before we got there, even when we talked about it, just in videos, anticipating the film, I said, I pray to God they don't hoe Fate. And they hoed him. Like when he first came in and he did that little thing that he was doing and turned the surroundings to what he did, I was like, okay, they about to.
Yeah.
But it felt like he could only do one thing.
Kept doing the same shit and multiplying himself.
And then every time he wasn't doing magic, he took his helmet off, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, that shit did confuse me.
Yeah, bro, they really fucked Fate, and I wasn't there for that. Now he's dead, so.
Sir Yuri G said only negative was the story and changing up his backstory. Honestly,
yeah. That was it. That was it. Because the action,
which is like a huge only.
Yeah,
But still. Dan the Man said I'd still keep The Rock as Black Adam in the new universe.
Oh, I definitely would too. I definitely would.
And there's not like he can room for improvement, even though he's been working on this shit for so long. He didn't do bad. I mean, they're only gonna get more developed with it, and he's only gonna enjoy playing it more. So I mean, there could be changes coming if anything. Like they could end up pointing his ears in the next movie just because fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Grand Regent Thrag said for some reason Black Adam had a lot of haters.
There were people
just because it wasn't comic book source material movie shit like that.
But that's why I said it. That was my premise I was coming from. It was never that. It was The Rock, and it was never that. It was the simple fact that you're taking a comic book character that people love, and you're changing him. Like people, I know that the general audience out there likes to call comic book fans fanboys and cry when you don't. But it's us fanboys. It's the reason why Black Adam's even on screen.
I was about to say the reason you're getting anything.
It's us.
The producers are doing it for the fans.
Right, like
shit,
we do care that to see characters that we've been reading about for before he even became a thought to you.
And it just sucks when you see something that you like. I feel like I personally could have went and done that better. I don't even work in that field. I just feel like y'all just hoed a character so much to the point where I could have did it better.
Yeah.
And then he also added, Grand Regent directed, Black Adam pleasantly surprised me, though. I can't lie. I had fun watching that.
Yes.
It was more rewatchable. It has more rewatchability than a lot of MCU films.
Yes, that's why I've seen it 4 times. I haven't even seen besides No Way Home, I haven't seen an MCU 4 times. MCU film 4 times.
No Widow's Peak.
Yeah, no Widow's Peak. You didn't have that either.
He got a fat peak. Officially, MG said, I need everyone God. Like, I don't want any baggage from the old DCU, and honestly, I don't think the DCU will ever be as successful as Marvel until they fully reboot. Need some fresh.
You know?
They need to get whoever's writing their animated needs to go and handles the business and the cinematic.
Join. Welcome to the club.
You know what? My tune has changed a little. I still agree with that. But now that we've got James Gunn as the CEO, I mean, you got Safran, but James Gunn as the CEO, I'm hopeful. And he's made me hopeful. I wasn't hopeful when the news first announced. I was like, James Gunn. But with things that he's posted and things that he has said and asking fans, what do you guys want to see? You know,
he gets it.
He does get it. He gets it. You know, sharing the picture of Mr. Terrific.
I mean, there's got to be some shit he's learned from Feige. So
right, and I'm sure he knows these characters. You know, so.
Dan the Man said, I'd rewatch Black Adam, Peacemaker, and Zack's Justice League if I ever want to go back to the old universe, honestly. I'll treat everything else like y'all did Origins Wolverine.
That one's funny.
And Raymond said, I mean, you can reboot and keep some actors. I would forcefully accept Cavill back and Dwayne back, but just get rid of Ezra and Gal.
What is y'all's issue with Gal?
I was about to say, a lot of people in our chat just be hating on Gal.
I was seeing y'all in the chat talk about Gal. What is y'all's issue with Gal Gadot? I like her as Wonder Woman.
I don't know if I like her, but I don't mind her. It's not like I'm sitting here like recast Gal, like recast Wonder Woman or anything. Like, I enjoy like everything I see and everything. It's not like I mind her.
I didn't think she's bad.
King Rico said he wasn't shooting the angst, nor was his helmet talking to him in the little thing for me I needed.
Yes. Yeah. That was something too. Why? Yeah, man.
Wasn't he throwing any of his little crosses and shit?
He did once. Literally once.
Yeah.
He made that big cross. Did that
but
shit.
You know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about though. You know what I'm talking. Where he has just a bunch of little crosses and he's just throwing them at niggas and shit like that. Like, bro, because I remember when we first had our Strange and Fate argument and shit. Like, that's whenever I really went and read about Fate and everything. And I was like, okay, this nigga Fate is tough.
He's very tough. Like it's.
Doctor Strange.
No, he wouldn't.
Nah, bro. Fate gets Strange.
We have this argument all the time, but like he may get Strange may get Thunning, but there's no Fate ruins Doctor Strange's life, bro. Like, I'm sorry.
The OG original, yeah, but that OG Strange don't touch the OG Fate. Fate in the DC universe, like, as I've said, I'm not just saying that about Fate. I'm not just saying that about Fate. I'm saying that about everybody in the DC universe. Character. You put any of the DC characters up against, you do a DC.
The OG
realistically,
Doctor Strange would have fit right in with DC characters. Though.
Yeah,
that's how overpowered
if you're pinning
that's
Fate,
how overpowered that nigga really was.
If you're pinning Fate against him,
How much are you knowing about OG? Straight, like, they had to nerf that nigga into the ground because every storyline they just had to, like, it would be solved with him having a spell for it.
Bruh, I'm sorry.
They had a spell for everything in the fucking multiverse.
I don't see it. I've seen so many stories with Fate. But I don't see it.
You know we gonna have this argument all day though with the amount of stories I've seen with Strange.
We strayed from the Flash a little bit.
Because as I've said so many times, if you take any character, you do it realistically. That's why I said I don't care for a DC versus Marvel movie because none of this shit is real, unfortunately. None of this shit is real, so you're having writers write how each person is going to turn out. But in a realistic world, let's put the fantasy shit beside for a minute. In a real, yes, I'm taking it there. In a realistic world, you put the heroes, the characters from DC up against the characters from Marvel. And yes, I know, I'm a Marvel fan. Marvel has hitters. They ain't got hitters like DC though. DC?
Not arguing that.
If you do a DC MCU Secret Wars,
they will fuck
DC's
them.
Running away with that.
They will fuck them.
Not the argument.
These are gods. Those are men. It ain't possible. Even with Fate. Fate is a god.
OG Strange was a god. OG classic Strange in the comic books written by original writers was a god.
That's the thing. I don't need a history lesson on Strange. I know my Marvel comics, And I know my DC comics. And when I know my DC comics, I'm looking at Fate, I'm looking at Strange.
We gonna argue on that all day.
Fate, that's fine. Fate, I'm telling you, bro. Fate fucks them. As I've said before.
Somebody put up a poll.
As I've even said before, Clarion would even give Strange a run for it. Clarion is... Bruh.
We don't have to...
We talking about magic users in the DCU?
We don't have to argue all day.
Spectre? What?
No.
What?
Yeah.
We don't have the argument all day.
No. Thank you, Gray. Gray said Dr. Fate would wash Dr. Strange. Like, that's just the realisms of it, bro.
I don't agree.
That's just the realisms of it.
He'd have Strange shining that helmet every day.
I don't agree.
He's a shining his helmet. No, bro. It's definitely a thing.
Raymond 2000, The Flash will be good. Ezra Miller, however, sucks.
Indeed.
I agree.
Thank you, Raymond. That's why I fuck with you, Raymond.
He said he's got better drip. That didn't say shit about him getting waxed, though.
I'm with you, bro. Doctor Strange is better than Dr. Fate. Raymond 2000.
D-Stizzle
Like,
what'd he say?
I just read. I'm with you, bro. Doctor Strange is better than Dr. Fate. I'm telling, like, y'all niggas aren't just up
You're gonna
here.
have one or two. I mean,
that's all y'all got. Like, it's not like it's a debate. It's a real debate. I'm telling you, like, just because.
No, that's fine. I mean, my here's the thing.
And I'm not. That's why I said we can stop because I'm not going to change your
never be changed.
I know. That's why I know there's. That's why there's. That's why I know. I said 10 minutes ago.
Way too much shit.
I've seen Strange do too much shit.
I've seen. You've seen Strange do it in the Marvel universe. In the Marvel universe. The Marvel universe can't even touch the DC universe. So the threats that Fate's dealing with in the DC universe is completely different than the threats that Strange deals with in the Marvel universe.
I can agree with that statement.
Completely different.
I can agree with that. My argument is simply OG Classic Strange is not getting washed by Dr.
But then again, that goes back to what I literally
is not
just
getting
said.
washed.
That goes back to what I literally just said. Two different universes. The threats in that universe.
In a real world.
Yes, the threats in that universe that Strange deals with can't even touch the threats that Fate deals with.
No need to keep the argument going. We'd be sitting here all night. We might as well say fuck the comments and just go to the next topic.
No, because comments need to be reached. These people are here for a reason.
D-Stizzle, after the timeline has changed and Flashpoint, Ezra and the old guard at DC will mysteriously vanish, LOL.
Possibly.
Raymond 2000, Ezra Miller being the Flash isn't going to make people go, oh my gosh, wow. It's gonna be people go, oh look, it's a privileged actor who got away with being a groomer while Will Smith is still canceled.
That's the argument I always use with Ezra, is that people still scream the shit they scream about Will. Meanwhile, Ezra's grooming children, and everybody's like, oh, they're just misunderstood. They just need someone to talk to. Well, yeah, they're talking to children.
King Rico, Snyder Cut slow motion was dope. There's just too much of it. I mean,
I don't like it.
It's kind of cheesy, yeah.
I don't like it because when I'm in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and I see Makari take out Icarus, it's all same paced. I understand that they're fast. You don't have to slow it down for me to see that they're moving fast. I mean, you look at Quicksilver's speedster scenes in the X-Men films, handled with care and done properly. I just don't like the slowed down stuff.
D-Stizzle again, Ezra is the worst Barry Allen ever.
Where are you?
I'm way at the top.
Let's move it down to JB Easy said Hawkman, a bright point in the Black Adam. I agree with you there. I thought Aldous Hodges was great. Dan the Man said fourth wall Deadpool is clapping Deathstroke with both katanas sideways. Stop playing.
And that's not to say that every character in DC is gonna just smack every character in the MCU. You know, their opposing characters.
Yeah,
But
no, but a lot of them.
As a whole, DC's taking the cup with them.
Throw Spectre in there. I mean, I don't know. I don't. Marvel can't. They just can't. Amari Adams said, adult Franklin Richards, DC Universe. Yeah, Franklin's a cheat code. Kenny said, yeah, but I'm still putting, if you're going Franklin for Marvel, I'm going Spectre for DC. Like, tell me what you're doing with Spectre. Tell me what Franklin, and don't use the pocket dimension shit because Spectre can debunk that too. What is Franklin doing with Spectre? Then we got Kenny that said OG Strange powers levels were based off Dr. Fate's powers levels. We got Zangbeto that said Batman gonna end up like Sabretooth messing with T'Challa. We got D-Stizzle that said Marvel has gods too from every angel. Yes, they do have gods, but DC's gods. Like I'm that's all I'm gonna throw out there is the Spectre. When somebody can give me an answer to Spectre, then I'll give you my next answer for you to give me an answer to. But give me an answer to Spectre.
Okay, so Raymond 2000 says throwing Spectre in there is like throwing Sentry/Void in there.
No. Spectre is a god.
Yeah.
I don't want to pronounce this wrong. UC151 said, Fate to me ain't it with that helmet. That strange drip is with the stash is real. Then we got Grand Region Thrag that said Marvel does have more grounded characters. I like that. Then Grand Region Thrag also said I think Marvel street level heroes wash DC's.
I mean, we were talking about this a couple Mondays ago. You talk about Rorschach from The Watchmen.
The Watchmen. You do have Mr. Manhattan as well.
Mr. Man.
So that's why I'm like,
forgot about Manhattan. Wait a minute.
I'm not gonna argue because DC has people like fucking Raven in the Teen Titans.
Trigon.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
I'm not gonna argue the universe because
who?
I'm gonna argue what I fucking know.
That's just like, bro. Fuck. They are just so much stronger than Marvel. Yes, Marvel has gods. Yes, Marvel has magic users. They have street level guys.
Is Spectre not just propelled by a god?
I mean,
like, is Spectre not low key Moon Knight?
No.
How so? Isn't Spectre just propelled by the god of vengeance?
Yeah, but Spectre also, like,
I don't know enough about. That's why I'm genuinely asking.
Spectre Moon Knight has to operate off Khonshu. Spectre doesn't have to operate. Like, Spectre can do Spectre without someone sitting on his shoulder saying, "Pull out this windpipe." Like, he doesn't need that.
I mean, comic book Moon Knight doesn't need that either. He has it, but he doesn't need. Like, that's just comic book Moon Knight as well, right?
Well,
now I'm genuinely asking because I don't know enough about Spectre.
Khonshu with Moon Knight and Khonshu is he brought Mark back to life with the promise that you will do my bidding, and if he does not do his bidding, Khonshu can. Yeah, Khonshu can. But that's not the same with Spectre. Like, Spectre.
So are his powers more so just enhanced by a god?
Yeah, I'd say that.
Okay.
Let's see. UC151 said, on the real though, the run with Strange literally having his body filled with dark curses and creatures that are killing him was always mad interesting. Like, let's be real, vulnerability makes more... There was a second part to that, I think. But I don't see it. D. Stizzle said, OP Sorcerer Supreme Strange is tough, but I'll have to give it a slight edge to Dr. Fate. Raymond said throwing. No, we read that to that one. Raymond also said, but we got the one above all in Galactus. No, that's true. You got the one above all in Galactus. Trying to think of another god outside of Spectre. I'll come back to you on that one. Yeah, the Beyond.
Niggas said hell couldn't contain the Hulk. Bro, the Hulk in the comics is a OD nigga, bro. Like,
Grand Region
given
tracks.
the right niggas, Hulk probably take out 20% of the DC universe, given the right process.
Yeah, I see you, Raymond. You know, name him Plume, and I love Adam Brashear. I do. But which I'm not going to get into right now. That's this conversation is going to be from one of those like open mic type of streams. But if I was to pull DC's roster, I see it. Living Tribunal. Again, if I pulled DC's roster, and if we're talking Magic users, like, bro, again, Clarion, like, who did you name? What is, like,
Phantom Stranger.
Some of them doing with Clarion, bro, like,
Phantom Stranger's a good one.
There are so many characters, especially on like we were talking about the Magic units. You've got Raven. You've got people that can literally have you shitting through your nose. Like,
but Raven's fucking
Constantine. People don't know, but Constantine
is another one. I won't put him up there like
I
boom.
Be debating people that the Teen Titans would work a lot of the Marvel universe, bro.
The Titans are tough, bro.
Just with Raven, Starfire, Robin. And
I love DC. I mean, DC's
I love
to me
them
just
both.
so much
I love
better
them
than
both,
Marvel.
but there's no denying the simple fact that DC's power scale is just higher. Like, most of their characters are just simply higher power based. I mean, I think I read a comment, I can't remember who it said, but it said Marvel's like street characters are better, and like I agree with that just because they have.
That's why I hesitated on that, because I was thinking that's tough.
I would agree with that just because I would say there's more variety in there, and you find more choices and stuff.
You got a Spider-Man on the street level with Marvel. That alone is tough. Because Spider-Man, as we've seen in the original Jim Shooter Secret Wars, Spider-Man was formidable when it came to a lot of villains. A lot of people that thought they was about to just smack Spider-Man was like, nah, let me show you who I really am. Like we've even talked about the comic where Octavius was in his body and in that comic run, and he was like, let me see how strong he really is.
He's fucking just punching holes through shit.
And it's like, oh shit, he could have killed us at any moment. Yeah, like, I don't know, when you got people like that on your street level roster, shit changes a bit, because you've got regular motherfuckers with not all of the street level heroes or villains over at DC are regular, but what's a Bruce Wayne with no time to plan? What are they doing with a Spider-Man?
No time to plan. I'm still taking Batman in a lot of.
I don't know, because that's two intelligent minds going against each other. But only one of you has superpowers.
Bro, Batman will, or Spider-Man will beat the shit out of Batman unprepared.
I really think he might, bro.
No, that's not a fight. No, Spider-Man will beat the shit out of that nigga.
Bats is.
He is, but you talk about unprepared. He is unprepared. Who Spider-Man is.
But even unprepared, he's prepared, because he goes and fights in the Justice League all the time, not knowing what he's getting into.
That's a true statement.
All the time, and the motherfucker makes it out.
That is a true statement.
Motherfucker going to fucking Apocalypse, he ain't got no business being there.
That's
true.
No business being
That's
there.
True. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know though, bro, because
Daniel said, did we see his comment? Which one was his? Go ahead, say what you were saying.
Oh shit, I forgot.
Oh, he said Jack Quaid as the Flash. I really don't care who they make as the Flash, to be honest.
Yeah, a lot of people in the
Oh,
comments
dude
just-
from The Boys?
He said one punch full power from Spidey would kill Batman.
That's what
Bro, that's what I'm really. If he hit that nigga as hard as
That's
he
what I'm
could,
saying. Like, it's tough.
no, not holding his punches back, bro,
He'd kill him.
He would kill that nigga.
He'd put him with his parents
That
for
man is
sure.
a human, bro. He would kill that nigga.
And that's what I'm saying.
No
Like
doubt.
the Bat family, bro. I think Spider-Man.
Especially with Spidey's senses and shit, it's just unprepared. Now, if Batman really know who Spider-Man is, like Spider-Man coming after me, then we can say like,
It could be a fight.
yeah, even Batman then at that point probably
Still in
just because he
danger.
has more experience and everything and has a plan for Spider. He got a plan for everyone. I'd probably then maybe take Batman, but unprepared Spider-Man just pulling up on Batman.
Yeah, nah.
If it's a bad day for
but
Spider-Man and
I'm
he punched that
still-
nigga once, it's over.
But I'm still with even when he's not prepared, he's prepared.
I'll give the even when he's not prepared, he's prepared. But I still think
I'm not.
because double limbs and Spider-Man would throw Batman in the Gotham River. I think he would fuck his ass
Bro,
up.
like that nigga is so strong, bro, and I don't know how I didn't even realize this in comics. I realized it in Infinity War whenever that nigga was like catching punches and stopping trucks and shit, and I was like, bro, this nigga was just on a fucking field trip, bro. Like now this nigga's out here dead ass catching cars and shit. That just
Or the
got cut
video
in
that Tony
half.
showed, he was like, "Is this you?" When he swings and grabs that car.
Grabs his shit.
I was like, "What the?" Yeah, bro. I don't know. He
Okay, so
Might
then
make some bad
prepared
stew.
Batman, what's he doing?
prepared Batman.
Just what
Prepared Batman took out Soups.
Prepared
So
Batman was
that's
just,
what-
I was about
that's
to say,
what-
just
that's
what he
what
do,
I'm-
just what he
that's
do to
what I'm
everyone.
yeah, prepared
Batman, nigga. Like,
Prepared Batman took down the Justice League.
Yeah,
Took
yeah,
down the
yeah,
league.
Yeah.
And
Martian
then
Manhunter?
said,
Yeah.
then said, "I do it again."
Walks away.
I love that shit. That's so funny. Okay. We got it. We could go on and on, but we have to hit the next topic and the last topic here. The last topic is going to be the Wakanda Forever Week 4. Everything going on in Week 4. So in early discussions that we had for Wakanda Forever, you would always hear me say, I am not preying on this film's downfall. I did not. I wasn't preying on the film's downfall. I didn't care if it did good. Didn't care if it did bad. T'Challa's not in it. I don't care about your film. That's why every time people ask me about, do you think this person? Do you think they could do this? Do you think? I don't care. I simply don't give not one, not two, red nor blue fucks about the Black Panther franchise within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't care. But we have here that, well, let me put it this way. The one thing that I will tell you that Wakanda Forever, that's about right though. Wakanda Forever was ever going to do was hit 1 billion. It was never hitting 1 billion.
I don't know. I could have told you that.
As many people have been out there saying, "Oh, it's still going to do this, it's going to do that." It was never hitting 1 billion ever. I don't know in what world or fantasy that anyone thought that it was ever going to hit 1 billion. And then I also said I've been saying this from the beginning too. It didn't have the same vibes. It didn't feel the same way going into this film as it did for BP1. As I've said at the end week, I said that by the end of week 2 going into week 3, we'd start seeing the conversation shift. We'd start seeing people start saying, I don't know. Maybe they should have recasted T'Challa. But it wasn't even week 2 or week 3. We saw it in week 1. In week 1, what was trending? I've said this so many times. It wasn't Wakanda Forever. It wasn't Namor. It wasn't Shuri. It wasn't Letitia Wright and Baku. Any of that. It was recast T'Challa because people were coming. Yeah, because people were coming out of the theater after watching whatever you threw up on screen, and were like, I don't know that really worked. Now, granted, there were people, because I've seen a lot of them. I've seen a lot of them. There were brainwashed individuals that went in there and saw the film and were like, "Oh, this was beautiful. This was beautiful. The way that they buried the character with Chadwick."
Some of the people send in the Discord, I'm always like, "What the fuck?" Because my Twitter, I don't personally use that to follow the recast crowd. I use that with like our channel's Twitter and everything. Like I might mainly follow sports on my Twitter, but when people send shit like. People are saying, like, this movie was perfectly tragic and it was perfect for that. And I'm like, when people just send shit like that in the Discord or people tweet, I'm like, bro, that is some crazy shit to tweet, like, on a public platform for niggas to just come.
It's a weird thing to say out loud. It's a weird thing to be comfortable with. It's a weird thing for you to accept. It's a weird thing for you to call it cute. I've seen people calling it cute. I've seen people calling it honorable. All the bullshit that people are calling it. But here we are we just left week 4, about to be going into week 5. And globally, let me make sure I have this correctly. Globally, it's nearing 700 million, with ticket sales currently at 689 million. However, that's not, because I've seen people saying, "Oh my God, it's doing great," and that's for those of you wondering what distracted me, if it's even still there. Did I go to The Rock? If anybody was wondering why I got distracted when I was looking at My Time to Shine Hello, because I saw this, and I hope it goes right back to her. Hold on. Because I saw this, and this is going to lead me into what I'm about to say. Let me find her. So she liked or retweeted or whatever the fuck this is. Hold on. Here it is.
Dan the Man says, "Hold up, y'all talk Marvel versus DC in the Discord. Run me that link on the ASAP."
The link for the Discord is in the bio.
So this is what I saw.
For this is video, coming from every other video, the home
Fandom Wire. Fandom Wire tweeted this out. And see, this falls in line with the brainwashedness.
Yeah, bro.
When you tweet shit like this, can y'all see this? Do I have the article up?
See, this is ignorant.
When you tweet shit like this, when you're showing pictures and images like this feeds into the shit that I've been saying for almost a year now. They are profiting off of Chadwick's death. The fact that you use Chadwick's face and put money below it and the man's not in the goddamn film, but for you to just morbidly show his death?
That's gonna be a T-shirt at JCPenney.
Weird. I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it.
You know how they do the Bugs Bunny with the
yeah, I know. Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it. It's extremely weird. It's extremely morbid to me for you to take Chadwick's face, put money below it, and then call it Wakanda Forever is on track to set records. Wakanda Forever is not on track to do shit because it's tracking behind Doctor Strange and Thor: Love and Thunder. This film is doing worse in numbers than Doctor Strange and Thor: Love and Thunder. And some people might be out there saying, "Oh, well, Darius, Doctor Strange had so much more to offer." Fuck you. Doctor Strange didn't make $1.3 billion like the first film. This first film made $1.3 billion. And the reason it didn't make $1.3 billion this time around, for all the people out there that have been like, "Oh, it's going to do this, it's going to do that," y'all are just hating. No, it was never hate. I was coming from a place of facts. I was coming from a place of this character that you're taking off the screen is the only reason your first film was a Best Picture nominee, bro. No other Marvel film, no, you can Google it, you can fact check me, I don't care. No other Marvel film has ever gotten a Best Picture nominee outside of Black Panther. No other Marvel film has ever made How much did Endgame make?
Infinity War might have made more than Endgame.
You're right. Before those, your first solo superhero film. Now, let me throw that in there. Infinity War and Endgame did the numbers it did because of the cameos it had, because of everything that was going to be going on with it. Because we understood that with Endgame and Infinity War, we were literally, no pun intended, at the end game. With T'Challa's story in Black Panther, that's a solo film with a character that at the time was not a household name. With a character at the time, before your little MCU became a thought, y'all didn't know who Black Panther was. They didn't know who T'Challa was, but T'Challa became a household name. due to Black Panther. So when you take that character off, you get your $700 or $689 million. And if that's good for you, fantastic. But again, it's behind two films that wouldn't have even been able to compete with it if you would have recasted the character. You know, so I found that to be really fucking disgusting and funny to me. And again, that just feeds into, I'm sure there are anti-recasters that look at that and say, I don't see anything wrong with that. Well, of course you don't. You don't see anything wrong with it because you also don't see anything wrong with Marvel profiting off of Chad's death. You also don't see anything wrong with the removal of a character, again, that was well established before your little MCU was a thought. Before the MCU was even a thought on a piece of paper, a thought in someone's mind. T'Challa had been there. The character had, this franchise had been there. That shit, that shit, Fandom Wire might get a tweet from me tonight. That shit, because I didn't see this until, like I said, we were talking about the shit we were talking about.
Yeah.
That's morbid. Again, it's weird, bro. And if you are watching this, if you have watched any of our videos, if you've watched any other recasters videos, you've seen anything that anybody's been saying, and or if you sat through that film and comfortably sat through the first 2 minutes, and you've seen shit like this, and you're like, I don't see anything wrong with that, the discussion is no longer Wakanda Forever. The discussion is no longer recast T'Challa. The discussion is what the fuck is wrong with you? The discussion is why are you so okay and comfortable and sick with calling Black Death cute? Let me put it this way too. I was watching, I really didn't want to name drop. But I'm going to, because I feel like, and I'm not calling him out. I'm simply addressing your place of privilege. John Campea, again, you guys know I like John, but I don't always agree with John. John got a question today on his show that asked him, they were talking about emancipation, and they were talking about how somebody commented and said, well, we as black people, we would like more films that don't have to deal with, the traumas of the black community. Because I'm not going to see Emancipation. I just don't want to. I mean, bro, when 2020 was going on and Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, I was watching. I rewatched a lot. A
lot of his story.
Yeah, I rewatched a lot. Like I've seen my parents set me and my siblings down when we were in middle school and made us watch Roots.
I still am watching. I'm 20 years old. I still am learning more and more every day. So I still am researching everything about it. So I like, because you brought it up, that's something I'm wanting to see just because.
Emancipation?
Yeah. Just because
I can't do it.
I don't know. Like, I'm at that point in my life where I'm learning who I am. I'm still learning everything. So, I mean, I don't mind seeing all the traumas and stuff. But I get what you're saying, because it sucks that, like, it's like, imagine people in China when they see these American films of how they portray black people and stuff like that. It's like, it gives off such a bad image of how black people are because we're only portrayed in one way. Like,
yeah, it's the only image.
Like, because I've thought about this, T'Challa was the only, like, black king that's been portrayed on a movie screen to that, like, big of a level ever, almost. I can think of at least.
The only.
Okay, so I confirmed it. And so it's just...
We don't have that.
I was going to say, just one, it sucks that we didn't get that recast and everything, but two, it also sucks that, like you said, we don't get to speak from this place of privilege where it's like we have all these, or like people have all these stories they want to tell about us. It's like, no, they have one story they want to tell about us, whether it's to make money off it, to show support for, whatever the reason is. It's just, it sucks that it's one thing, and one thing they always go back to when they tell stories and stuff. Yep. They being movie writers, producers, Hollywood, like that, not a race.
And then, well, to tell you guys what John said.
Yeah, I did cut you off. My fault.
So he got the question about emancipation, and they had told him that they're tired of seeing black trauma on screen, and why can't we just see other positive, films with black characters and things like that. And John's response, again, I've said this so many times when we talk recast, when we talk black traumas in films or whatever the case may be, race swapping. I've said this all the time. When most white folks speak on these topics, you are speaking from a place of privilege, because John's answer was everything involving privilege. He's able to sit on a privileged seat where these certain things don't bother him, because why should they? Like, why would they? His answer to that was, if it's a good story that they're telling and it serves the overall, I don't see anything wrong with stories like that. Well, of course you wouldn't see anything wrong with stories like that. But let me tell you again, as I've said before, 12 Years a Slave. Roots, honestly, Roots too, but 12 Years a Slave is it's a hard one.
Yeah.
It's a hard one to watch. I've seen it several times, but it's a hard one to watch. And the scene specific, I mean, there's so many, but the scene specifically, when Patsy is getting beat because she wanted a bar of soap. And the difference here, John, or anybody else out there that may think like John, when you are telling those type of stories, that's shit that happened. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is fantasy. That shit, so when I sit down in that film, I'm expecting to see things on the screen that are real, that happened, that are based off of a true story. Patsy was a real individual. So no, it's not if the story's good, it's okay, or if the story's... No, it's traumas.
I think, my fault to cut you off, but Stamina said, like you said, it's not a story to everyone. It's not entertainment.
Exactly.
Like, it's a blind spot.
Exactly. But they view it as viewers' entertainment. They view it as, I'm entertained because I'm at the movies and I'm learning this. But for those of us, again, that sit in this community, again, I didn't grow up in no lackadaisy black household. I just didn't. My parents educated us. We knew who we were. We knew what we were because my mama made sure of that shit. Like, my mama used to tell me all the time, bro, you got 3 strikes already against you. You're black, you're a male, and you're black. Like, we heard that shit all the time, me and my siblings. So, like, and then growing up where I grew up in Norman. So no, bro, like, it's not just stories. These aren't just things being played out for a good story for you to be entertained. Because I said this before too. The Emmett Till story. John, since he's so entertained, or since it's such a good story, go sit through the Emmett Till story and you tell me, man, that was such a good story. The Emmett Till story is not a good fucking story. That's a tragic story. That's a very sad story. A little boy yanked up out of his bed, not even his bed, went to stay with his relatives in Mississippi, yanked up out of his bed by 3 white men in the middle of the night because they thought he whistled at his wife. So they took him, and there's nothing they could do about it. There was nothing his uncle could do. There was nothing his cousins could do. There was nothing his aunt could do. There was nothing any of the surrounding neighbors could do. They were powerless. They took that boy. They tortured that boy. They did everything they did to that boy and then left him to rot in the Mississippi River. If you come out of that film and you're saying, good golly, that was a good story.
Or I'm so, like, touched by that, like...
Then, again, there's a wider conversation at play. So when... I'm sorry that just took me there. Because it's people saying this whole, well, it's honoring this, it's doing that. No, you're literally brainwashed. It is Marvel profiting off of this man's death. And not even really, I'm not going to send, obviously, $700 million is $700 million. But when you're tracking behind 2 films that wouldn't, and it's even, I don't care how good you did them, wouldn't have even competed with the first Black Panther film. So for anybody asking, well, why is it sitting at $689 million in dollars instead of $1.3 billion? Because Marvel decided for this sequel that they were going to shove a morbidly disturbing funeral that most of you went to see, and we saw it too. And I saw that in the comment too. Somebody said, but didn't you go see the film? I did. I've not seen it since. I've seen Black Adam 4 times. I won't see it again. And for the reasons I've said. I had to see that film so I could give my own answers on what the film was. But for Marvel, or for the film to be sitting where it is,
watching that film did a lot for me. I don't fuck with Ryan Coogler. I don't fuck with Namor.
And for all the people that were screaming, like everything that they were screaming about the film, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. Even those people haven't seen it twice. Because again, here's the thing: if the film is sitting at 600, that means that there's no rewatchability. The difference in the first BP, I personally saw it at least a good 15, 16 times
I went to
in
see that shit
theater.
like 7 times in theater.
And I paid every
basketball
time.
team, mom, dad, friends, then went with people at school, then just was going again just for fun.
Yeah.
like
I said, we know the reasons, bro. We like you watching, you anti-recaster, you person that might come in the comments and be like, "Oh, shut the." You know the reason. Everyone knows the reason. T'Challa is the reason. When that character was taken off the screen selfishly, when that character was laid to rest honorably, cutely, like some of you think, with Chadwick, there went your 1.3 bill. There went whatever possibilities this film could have done. So nah, bruh, again, you're gonna have to come a little bit harder than that for me. But I wanted to say all this. I wanted to say all this, and I wanted to even bring this topic up. I even wanted to say about the box office numbers, because we are currently sitting in what we have been saying for almost a year. We've said this. We said it's beautiful. Bro, go watch our initial reaction to the trailer. My first thing was, it's beautiful. The trailer's beautiful. The soundtrack is beautiful. It's all beautiful.
But no
T'Challa. And it's not. And I also said and it's not gonna do what your first film did because of no. So now I can sit here and literally.
Shit, I was wrong in mine. I said it's beautiful and everything, and I was like, I believe in Ryan Coogler. I came out wrong than a motherfucker. But like you said, we all agreed on the fact that it, like in the trailer, it looked beautiful and everything. But I think we also knew, like, no T'Challa, it's kind of gonna be lacking something. We're all gonna be sitting here having the same question the whole movie.
Yeah.
How are you gonna do it was gonna be the first question, and then the second question was gonna be, why did you just do that? We knew we were gonna have the why to their how instantly because it doesn't make sense what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so, I think us just already knowing that walking in the theater, it kind of just we knew we weren't gonna go rewatch this movie. We knew it wasn't gonna make $1 billion. Like you said, everything we're saying now has come to.
It's happening.
It's
happening. That's so fucking Raven. It is happening.
Fruits of our labor are now in the
Call
orchard.
me Miss Cleo, because it is happening. Like we said this shit was gonna happen, and then I've seen. So you can sit out there too. I've seen people saying this. Well, the only reason that it's not doing good is because this was directly said to me. It's not doing good is because we have crybaby ass fanboys like you who are pushing this narrative that the film's not good. Bro, if you think that my 1,400 subscribers is the reason Black Panther, Wakanda Forever is not doing good...
Hey, if you think Planet Fanatics had that influence, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
But I can tell you right now, it ain't my channel, it ain't E's channel, it ain't Brandon's channel, it ain't Back of the Bus, it ain't Theo, it ain't D-Real, it ain't Chill, it ain't none of us.
It's a world realization.
It's none of... That's what it is. It's motherfuckers waking up and realizing...
It's a world realization.
Something is off. That's what it is. The recast crowd, with all of its signatures, didn't cause this film to flop. This film flopped because motherfuckers are waking up. This film flopped because it was always going to flop, because the people that you had going to see the original BP, after learning that you took the franchise main character out, said, I'm not going to see this. You know how many people I know personally that have not gone to see this, that aren't going to see this?
I have friends that they asked me, should I go see it? I said no, and then they'd snap me like 10 hours later. Q, my dad just told me not to watch that shit too. He said it's sad. I'm like, if your dad's saying that let me know that I was like, your dad's not even just a super duper Marvel geek. Like, he just know, like, this don't make no fucking sense. But what I was gonna say, because we were talking about money and everything, but I mean, think about how much better they were able to market and advertise that first Black Panther versus how shit the marketing was for this second one. How ass and like that marketing for this last Black Panther movie was bad.
It was.
It's one of the worst in Marvel history because they didn't have anything to market.
Nothing but Ye Bombay with Suri.
It's not appealable though. It's not marketable. It's not marketable. Ye Bombay. And like it's not marketable.
And I'm still in this film that you rewrote. You should have wrote in there a convincing way for the audience to believe that Shuri is your new Black Panther. Not any time in that film was I convinced. Not any time in that film was I like, oh, you know what? They might be onto something. Like, not at no point.
If I was in Wakanda, I would have challenged her for that.
Oh, I would have challenged her. Toussaint can challenge her right now.
I would
if
have
he wants
challenged
to.
her for that throne in me. How the fuck she get this? I made it. Challenge me. I want it.
Bro,
Give
like,
me that shit.
Not hers anymore.
we sending
Well,
you off to be the protector of
see.
this of Wakanda? No.
Yeah, bro.
Hell
And that's why I
no.
said it's underperforming. That's why no one's gonna go see it on the 5th or the 6th weekend, the 7th weekend. I mean, Avatar's about to come out, so it's really about to get left in the dust now. Avatar's coming. When does Avatar come out? Like what?
17th.
Next week, right?
16th
Next
or
weekend. That's next weekend then. Yeah. So this 4th weekend was its last weekend.
Yes, done.
Yeah, that was it. So your 689, 700 million, that's your
You
number.
might get one little stretch this week, maybe.
I don't think so, because this weekend is Avatar.
16th. Looks like.
Next is
That's this weekend, isn't it? Isn't the 16th this coming weekend?
7th. This is 7th.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Next
weekend. Next
I was
weekend.
about to say, you got Christmas. Hella. I know
My-
you're
my
not a
fault.
Christmas guy, but that's soon. I need to get
My
to
fault. Next weekend.
So you
the
might
weekend
get
after
one
this.
little last bump to
Maybe.
like try to get to. You're not gonna get 7. You're not gonna get 700.
No, I just don't think so.
You're not gonna
You're
get
sitting at
700.
689. I just don't think so.
And you were asking about Endgame. They did 2.7.
2.7. Okay, yes, and that's why I said I corrected myself there. Those two films did do better. They weren't solo films. You had everybody in them. It was the juice of what we've been waiting for 10 years. So
I mean,
of course.
fuck that. What was one of the main points in Infinity War was the Battle of Wakanda. With T'Challa was honestly one of the main characters.
He was.
Infinity War.
He was.
He-
It all.
like,
I mean, they
he-
went to like
that-
that was the whole thing. When Steve said, "I might
They had
know
to go
someone."
get Bucky's arm.
They
and
had
needed
to,
Bucky.
when
and
they were trying to figure out what are we going to do with Vision. Steve said,
Yep.
"I know someone." They went, and that's when you hear the drums and shit. And then where are we going? Wakanda. And who the fuck is there? We
White
don't
Wolf.
do that here. T'Challa, bro. Like what?
That
And
just brings up even more like just flaws with fucking Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, or whatever you call it. How they held back against Thanos'
Yes,
forces.
when he says, "Get this man
Bro.
a shield."
Oh my god.
Fuck, that shit
This
was
man
so
is
good.
shit.
I might
Yeah.
rewatch Infinity War tonight.
I mean, I'm telling you, bro. Infinity War with T'Challa, anything with T'Challa. I'm not. Again,
No,
I don't- why do
no,
I- I'm
because
not-
Civil War's a top 5
Yeah,
movie,
Civil
in
War's a
my
top 5
opinion.
movie,
But
of course.
yeah, and I would say like he's definitely he's was one of the most. I mean,
Bro, he's
for
so-
everybody, he was one of the most popular characters.
It's just he's so versatile to use in any storyline.
Okay, so during that battle in Endgame, there were 3 things that I heard people cheer for at least in just during the whole thing. So
The portal scenes.
Cap getting Mjolnir,
Mm-hmm.
right? Fucking Spider-Man coming out, and then T'Challa coming out.
I
Right?
cheered
No,
shit.
didn't
I
nobody
was like,
say, "Hey, nobody."
like,
Whenever
my
when
nigga.
didn't
See my face when I
nobody
seen
cared.
Strange give Thanos that time stone, bro.
Nobody cared whenever Falcon said it. On your left.
No one
Then
cared.
nobody in he came swinging in. Nobody.
I don't know.
I did.
I gave a
You
fuck.
did?
I did give a fuck
When-
because that was
Yeah,
the
because
that
you
was
just
the
knew,
because he
because
was
at
the
that
first
point you
one, and I
knew.
knew I was
At
gonna
that
say I
point,
knew everyone was coming.
you
I
knew
wouldn't
they
say
were
it was
coming.
Falcon, but at that point I was like, okay,
But it was still quiet though. And then everybody, and then you start seeing the portals open. Yeah.
yeah, bro. Yeah, it's
when I see my nigga
sad.
Steven, I knew it was game. Shit.
And that's why I said too, the crowd that you were trying to reach for I don't know what crowd you were trying to reach for this, but the comic book fans, yes, the comic book fans, those of us that know the character of T'Challa, because as I'm going to continue to say, those of you that comment on our videos and say the ignorant, foolish things that you say, and yes, I'm going to say it because somebody called me out. You said you don't know the character. You met the character in 2018. Do not try to sit here and play me and tell me that you know this character, because if you knew the character, the stance you have wouldn't be the stance you have. The arguments you're making wouldn't be the arguments you're making. How silly you make yourself look when you come into spaces talking about shit you don't understand. You sound ignorant. So it doesn't. It's not one of those things where it's like, oh, you could just a comic book fan. Yes, the comic book fans were going to go see T'Challa. They're not going to go see something they've been reading about without the franchise's main character. I'm not an anime fan, but I know a lot of you out there are, and maybe some of you that are watching this video on a replay that are anti-recast. You might be a anime fan too. Tell me this. Your favorite anime that you've been, from my understanding, this One Piece stuff has been going on for a long time.
Over 1,000 episodes.
And I only know this shit because Trey. If they took Luffy or whatever his name is out of it, if they took Luffy out of One Piece and replaced him with whoever a side character, tell me you wouldn't be pissed. Tell me as an anime fan that you wouldn't be like, yo, you're fucking my character. Oh, now I can already hear it. Well, you sound stupid because that's different. Nobody, the guy that made, okay, let's say this, Oda, the man that made Luffy. Oda passes. So they decide they are going to retire the character, or retire this, or never bring the character back. You can't accurately tell me, oh, I'm okay with that because I got so, and maybe you can because you've gotten so many stories with your character. But let's amp it a little bit. Luffy shows up in Netflix's live action One Piece series, or Luffy doesn't show up in Netflix's live action One Piece series. Are you mad? You can't tell me you're not. You cannot tell me as an anime fan, I don't know shit for shit about none of this.
That's why it's so funny.
But you can't tell me as an anime fan that you would sit down and say, well, I've been reading One Piece since diapers, from what it sounds like with Trey, and Luffy's not in it, but I'm okay. You wouldn't be. So it's you sound stupid too. That's why I've always said this too. It's
Japan.
You wouldn't have One Piece.
Japan would call a state of emergency.
I'm telling you, bro. They would, and it's one of those things. Again, like I said, it's easy. It's easy to sit from a place and say the shit you say when it's not your character. It's easy to sit from that place of whatever it might be for you when it's not your character being fucked with. But let's take it back a little bit. Let's take it back to the rumors of Giancarlo Esposito, which I still believe are real, with him being Professor X. Do you know how many people on Twitter were like, Professor X isn't black? Professor X, he's not that wise, but why are you doing this? Blah. They were screaming. They were mad. Hashtag this, hashtag that. It's no fun when it's your character being fucked with. See, I could come into that argument and be like, oh, you sound like a fanboy. You're yelling because they're changing things. Yeah, nerd. Shut up. You sound stupid.
You nerd.
That's what y'all sound like when you come in and you're telling us, oh, you sound stupid. But yet when one of your characters is getting fucked with, you're up in arms. You're ready. You're pissed as hell, ready to go.
One of your fucking toy box full of characters, bro.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
You got a toy box full of characters, but let one of them be changed, race, sexually, gender, whatever it may be, and
they're pissed.
They're pissed. Riot. But then the second one, like, we get a character, y'all want to piss on it. Piss some shit, whatever y'all can do to make our character mean less to y'all's toy box full. I just don't get it. I never will get it because it's never going to end happening. Like, it's just the way, like, I don't see that cycle ever being broken. Genuinely.
Yeah. And you know what? You know, one more thing to say. To take it back to the people saying, like, oh, Darius, Multiverse of Madness, or Wakanda Forever didn't have the legs that Multiverse of Madness could have had. Again, well, you could have fucking fooled me. Because all of y'all pre-Wakanda Forever were so damn giddy. We're so, I can't wait to go see this film. And and it's so beautiful. It looks like this, and blah, blah, blah. And then everybody, too, I love this one. This is one of my favorites. I don't know if Angela Bassett's new to a lot of the Black Panther audience, because everybody's like, oh my, she's been here.
She's so powerful. She's
bro.
So motivating. She's so inspiring.
I'm like,
nigga, she been there. What
like
the
what?
hell?
Like it's just like, and not just that. Like the Angela Bassett herself has been in the business. Angela has been doing amazing roles. I mean, you got Tina Turner. You've got her role in Waiting to Exhale. You've got her role in Jackson's The American Dream. You've got her role as Marie Laveau in American Horror Stories, which are my favorite roles by her. I can go on and on and on with Angela Bassett. Angela's not new. Again, when I see some of these things, sometimes I just laugh. I'll just be laying in bed and laughing, bro. Like when I see the things that people are saying, again, it just lets me know that you don't know much about just. This is why more black actors and actresses need to be introduced, because Angela Bassett was new to some people in 2018, and that's nothing wrong with that. Chadwick was new to people in 2018, although they won't tell you that. The recast crowd like, oh, I always know. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. No, you have not.
Chadwick was Civil War was my first time.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But and the reason I say there's nothing wrong with that, the only thing wrong with that, because there's nothing wrong with you seeing him or anybody seeing him for the first time in Civil War. The problem then comes in when you accuse us of gatekeeping the character, but you're the one gatekeeping. Yeah. Because you came into 2018 knowing the character. As I've said so many times, if you want to love this character, go pick up his comics. It's not in a Marvel film, bro. It's not. You fell in love with him in a Marvel film, but you don't know him. Just like Don Cheadle said the other day, we don't know who Rhodey's friends are. We don't know his relationships. We don't know shit about Rhodey. I implore anyone in the comments, since y'all like leaving us these Harry Potter novels to read, because you think I've read all that shit, I don't. And just so you know,
I don't.
Anytime it's anti-recast, I read your first 2 words.
And then
I don't read your paragraph.
Skimming through to see if I chuckle.
And you're lucky if I skim. You're lucky if I skim. I typically don't read that shit. But
you said you're lucky if I skim.
But the thing is, when you've got a character like this, you've got his stories, you've got all this, you learned about him in the MCU. You want to leave me a novel. Leave me a novel telling me about T'Challa in the MCU. Tell me what you learned about T'Challa in the Tell me in-depth shit that you can tell me about Tony Stark in the MCU. You can't give me in-depth shit about T'Challa because
say Peter Parker.
I should have said Peter Parker because Peter. That's who I should have used.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
that's
bro,
exactly who I should have used.
Clip that shit, bro. That's gonna be so funny.
That's exactly who I should have used. I should have used Peter Parker, and the reason I should have used Peter Parker is because Peter Parker entered the MCU the exact same fucking time as T'Challa did.
Well, and that's a comment.
And that motherfucker has 3 films.
I'm gonna find this comment later, but they said them having T'Challa more in Civil War than Peter Parker, they knew how important T'Challa was to Marvel, considering how pivotal he was in that Civil War movie.
Yeah,
because he was more important than Iron Man going and getting Peter Parker and everything. But
and then
I forgot what I was gonna say. Damn.
Then you have like I said, like you just said, he was way more important than Spider-Man in that film. And not only that, moving forward, as I've said so many times, we've got people talking about, and I'm sure some people have thought to themselves with our channel, maybe they're done with recast. No. As I've said, I'll talk about it when there's news, but I'm not going to get on here and just say the same shit every day. But I'll talk about it when there's news. But as I've said before, every time, even in these next few projects that are coming up, you're moving towards Secret Wars. We said the other day, I don't know how, I'm scared for Secret Wars. I'm scared because I don't know how you're doing some of this shit. Time runs out. I've said this. Opens with T'Challa. T'Challa is a major player in Secret Wars. And I can already hear the comments again. You got Suri. They recasted T'Challa with TJ. Let me address that really quick. I'm sorry, because I've seen that so many times. TJ's not a recast. That's a new character. He's not a recast. He's simply a new character. He's a new character. Actually, I think he's Marvel's. I saw this from the direct. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's Marvel's 10th new character. That's it. That's Marvel's words, not mine. They called him a new character. They didn't call him a recast. They called him a new character. He's Marvel's 10th new character they've introduced within post-credit scenes. I think that's what the direct said. So it's not a recast. That sounds ignorant when you say that shit.
Anyone knows that's not a fucking recast.
They know that.
Know that's his son. It's
either they know that or they're being willfully ignorant.
I was about to say, but that's the thing. You get on the internet and you'll be surprised by how many willfully ignorant people you run into. So I mean, it's probably a heavy mix of both.
Yeah, it's just, it's again, the proof is in the fucking pudding, Bo. It's there. Like that's why I said I don't. Yeah, I don't need to go into like
and talks like it.
The details.
Duck.
I don't need to go into the receipts of things we've. I mean, it's just. It's there. If you look it up, you go see. It's there, bro. It's there. Like the numbers are there or not there, and the weirdos are still out there saying the same thing they're saying. But again, a lot of people are starting to come around. They're starting to see that. Hell, we even had that one guy come in here and say, "I was wrong." He didn't have to do that, but he came in and said, "I apologize. I was wrong."
Yeah.
Again, we've seen other people doing that. We've seen people say, "You know what? The recast crowd was right." We read a whole article from Game Rant that said recast T'Challa may have been right, and it ain't a may. Recast T'Challa was right,
and it's not even about being right. Because I mean, it's just like
that's really it. It's not even about being
see
right.
The character, bro. And I'm pretty sure that's what all of us want.
That's a good point. I'm glad you said that.
Ain't none of us sitting here saying like rubbing it into other people's faces that we're right. The movie did this, that. No, like it's literally like if you agree with us, then thank you. Finally, like. Thank you for being on our side and joining the thing, and like, but eventually we just want to see T'Challa back on screen. At least that's my point of view. Like, I don't care to be right, wrong, or this, that. I know it's gonna take a while too. Like I've said, I've been the one on this because Marvel has other things they want to get to. It being secret, whatever it's being. But I mean, I just don't think T'Challa's the most high up on their list right now, and it sucks.
Oh, they don't give a shit.
Character I want to see back on screen.
It's like I just said about Acolyte. I don't give a shit because you don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't care about your Black Panther stuff in the MCU because you don't care about your Black Panther stuff in the MCU. Like, I'll still read my shit. I'll go back and watch and read or whatever, like Civil War, Infinity War, BP1. But anything after that, your Wakanda Forever series, BP3, BP4, whatever you choose. I'm not interested. I don't care. Like, it's not even something I'll cover. Like, I don't care. I won't go watch. But like, if let's say they do a BP3 in 2026, like they say they're going to. Let's say they do a BP3. Yeah, I'm gonna talk shit about it up until the film comes out. I'm not going to see that motherfucker at all.
I'm not interested in it either. I don't.
Like, I'm not. I have no. What's my appeal to go see it? TJ. TJ, and ain't the kid. Let me say that too, because I've seen some people saying that's just a kid. The kid was great. I think I said that.
We all said that.
Yeah, the kid was fine. He was. And typically, I cringe over kid actors. He was fine. He delivered his lines fine. That's cool. He ain't T'Challa. That's cool.
Can't no nigga live up to T'Challa.
He's not T'Challa. That's TJ, and TJ is being hidden in the forest right now.
Real quick, Grace said if T'Challa's baby was a girl, do you think people would still call that a recast? Or do you think they'd finally realize that it's just a replacement?
I think they know right now it's not a recast, but they don't want to.
They don't want to admit that.
I'm gonna use another one of my, I love Game of Thrones, House of Dragon. They don't want to bend the knee. They don't want to bend the knee to what it is. That's all it is. They're just sitting so strong on their like no. Even if they start to see some of the things we've been screaming for almost a year are right, they're like no. I'm gonna double down on how I feel.
Turn that cheek.
Yeah, I'm gonna double down on how I feel, and that is your recast. You got your T'Challa. Somebody told me that you got T'Challa. No, what she said? I think it was a boy or girl. I don't know. It was Twitter names. You never know. You got your T'Challa, and now you're bringing. Emmett Till into it. What is going like blah 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 blah.
Oh my god.
I'm like, bro, tell me you watched it without telling me you didn't understand shit that you didn't comprehend what you watched. Like, yeah, like bro, like literally palm face. If that's what you got from what I'm saying,
that's what we're arguing with.
Yeah.
Like at this point I'm deleting Twitter. Like, I'm not using Twitter to argue with niggas.
I laugh, bro. I laugh. I'm telling you, they get the emojis thumbs up from me. That's what they get from me, bro. You're right, bro.
My favorite thing is
you are so right.
With the sunglasses, just with the thumbs up.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Cool, bro. Like
cool with me. Go do your
cool
thing.
With it. You wanna feel the weight. And again, I've said this. The last thing I'm saying, I'm not trying. This ain't the more. I'm not. This ain't a church. I'm not trying to convert you. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to change you. Yeah. I'm not trying to change your beliefs. You can believe and feel the way you want to believe and feel. But again, do it with merit and fact. Don't come in spitting your... Because when I'm up here, yeah, a lot of it is passion and feeling. But I'm giving you facts. I'm giving you receipts. Y'all be coming in here talking about some damn off-the-wall ass shit. Shit that doesn't even make sense. You're not coming in with fact and merit. You're coming in just purely based off your love for the 2018 film. That's simply it.
Fact and merit, and also, like, just empathy to realize where people who actually know this character who are talking about, like, even me, I'm not the most educated. So, like, everything I know is mostly because you've told me to go read this or told me to go read that story, or look, like, I've learned everything, but it's just like some people really, like, they don't know how to empathize and put themselves in other people's shoes to where it's like maybe they know more than I really know. Maybe they actually are smart. Like, some people can't sit back and say maybe this person's actually smarter than me in this area or this aspect of life.
That's a problem for a lot of people.
I was going to say, I just think a lot of people need to realize, even me, myself sometimes.
I'd say that for me too.
But it's like, this is just such a certain situation where it's like I just said, I don't want to claim to be right or anything, but like, we all know what the right thing to do is.
Right.
It's like recasting. And so it sucks that, like, when people come in, try to, like, flip that in some way that it's like, we're trying to do it for some wrong reason, like misogynistic or just any of those reasons we were getting before the movie came out and stuff like that. It's just, I don't get it, because if you were able to empathize and just put yourselves in our shoes, the only thing you'd see is how much we want to see a character on screen.
Well, and the same thing that you guys have been saying on here, because I'm obviously new here, but the same thing you guys have been saying, they're not going with Chadwick's wishes either. The guy that you're putting on his, you're still putting him on posters. You're still putting him in backgrounds.
Wild. Oh my! Keep going. That's just wild to me. Jeez.
How much respect did you really have for the guy?
And then using his picture with money, bro. I'm going back to that. I'm showing that again.
This is a man who was fighting cancer while giving us those films, bro. Like that. Like, when you really think about what he was doing, it really is inspiring. Like,
it is.
That's to say the least.
Yeah.
So I mean, like. To say that any of us wouldn't want that character back on screen, and I got to shout out to Steven Dunn with the $50 super chat.
Shut your mouth, Steven.
Big shout out saying, anti-black misandry is so adamantine that honoring Chadwick came in the form of turning arguably the most influential black male character in book history, came in form of turning said character into a poster child for stereotypes.
That is so true. And before I touch on that,
big shout out to you,
huge shout out, because that's probably
it is.
No, Cornelius. Yeah. So we've had. Thank you so much. We appreciate that so much, bro.
That is huge.
Yeah, that is big. Thank you so very much.
I got me ready to come back tomorrow and get to work.
I appreciate it so much. It really does. One more time, anti-black.
Anti-black misandry is so adamantine that honoring Chadwick came in the form of turning arguably the most influential black male character in book history, came in the form of turning said character into a poster child for stereotypes.
Exactly.
And that's what I was just talking about earlier. Exactly. I was like, I can't think of another... Well, the first thing I said was when we were first talking about this, where I was like, this may be the first time in history where such a prominent character has not been recasted. And then what I've been saying recently is, like, this might be the first time in history where we've had the one black character that we can actually point other people to, like, that's a black king. If you want to learn, like, if you want to know some good black power, like, in fiction film, T'Challa, right there. Yep. It's like now, like, exactly like you said it, like, it's just... A lot of it that we're getting in this movie is just for stereotypical stuff like that and shit.
I'm sorry. I just saw... I agree with you. I just saw what iComic for your... Or one comic for... I'm sorry.
iComic for your, iComic for you.
Okay. Said, I'll give you the checkmate when these guys lost their mind over their Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. When their character turned out to be a bitch, they lost their minds. Check me. Yep. And that is so true. Was I not just bitching? I think I was just bitching about Episode 8 because I'm one of those bitchers when it comes to Star Wars Episode 8. You took the franchise's main character. Now, obviously, you didn't kill him.
I only know about this because you do bitch about it.
I do bitch about it. I bitch about it. You took the franchise's main character, although Mark Hamill is still living. You took Luke Skywalker, who we as OG fans, I'm not talking about you sequel trilogy lovers. We as OG fans I watched Star Wars when I was 9 years old. After I came home from watching episode 2, my stepdad set me down and said, "Did you like it?" I said, "Yeah, I loved it." He said, "Well, now I'm going to show you episodes 4, 5, and 6. And I was like, "What?" And then he showed me episodes 4, 5, and 6. So when he showed me those episodes, I saw Luke. And I'm like, Who is this? Who's this character? Oh my gosh, he's so cool. He's the franchise's, him and his father are the franchise's main fucking characters. So when you did what you did to him, of course you got fans bitching. So yes, that's a perfect example. That's the example, I would say. Star Wars fans, that film came out in 2018. 2018, I believe. 2017, 2018 is when that film came out. Because Force Awakens came out in 15. I believe that one came out in 18.
Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me.
Or 17, because Rise came out in 19. One of those. However, whatever.
2017.
2017. Motherfuckers have been bitching about that since 2017.
6 years almost.
And it has, and I'm not talking like, 2017 it was loud. 2018 it kind of died down. 2019, no, that shit is still loud, bro.
Getting louder.
People, because you've taken a franchise that people love and you shit on it. And it's the same thing with Recast T'Challa. You've taken a franchise, again, that people have loved since the Civil Rights Movement. And you said, source material be damned, fans be damned. My feelings are the only thing that matter, and this is what we're doing with the character.
You looked at you made the second movie looking at the first movie. It said first movie be damned.
Yeah, you said first movie be damned.
Second movie don't connect to the first one at all. So fuck the first movie, fuck the source material, fuck who it was for. Like that's honestly how that second movie came off as, because. I mean, if Black Panther, like we've always said, we're not going to knock down any type of representation ever. But, I mean, if Black Panther's supposed to give us black representation, Namor gave more representation in that movie than Black Panther. So, I mean, like, that's just, it's every time we have this conversation, it's shit I don't get. Because a lot of this shit in this conversation or this space just don't make sense. Because you look at it and you be like, man, you recast T'Challa. Half our channel ain't even here today. Like, half our videos ain't even up today. Like,
you recast T'Challa, I'm happy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's such a simple ass fix.
It is, bro. And I still see this, even though it's so wild to me that I'm still seeing this. This lets me know that the recast crowd they're like those damn goats from Thor: Love and Thunder. They just don't shut the fuck up. They just go and go and go, and it's like, shut up.
So when you thought they
stopped. But it's like you done.
You thought they stopped.
You thought they're done.
And they all come in and they say the same shit.
The most obnoxious
the film is done. It's in theaters. Blah blah. I'm aware that the film is done.
They catch you at the worst times,
bruh.
too. Just in the worst moments where you really don't want to see some ignorant shit. And you're like, I'm going to read some comments real quick. And then you just like, that one comment that always catches you. You're like, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I would just be one. That's why I got a burner. Because I'd be wanting to respond to something.
I do be wanting to respond.
You ignorant. Like, you just be going in on the... I can't do it on the personal stuff. But there's just always that one comment that catches me. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, I got to respond to this.
JB Easy. At least Lando survived.
But you know what? Never mind. I'm not even getting into Star Wars, even though we were supposed to get a Lando series.
King Rico, wait, Lando's still alive?
Not if Coogler gets his hand on a Star Wars story. All the little black characters that are there, he gonna say, "Oh yeah, Death Star."
That's gotta be the biggest inside joke on our Discord. Just if Ryan Coogler touch a black character, funeral.
Yeah, funeral. Instantly gone.
Get in the white. Get the white.
Instantly gone.
Raymond said, "What the goats do to you." Bro, we talk about them damn goats all the time.
I didn't mind the goats, but again, I feel like the recast crowd is like those damn goats. They're just going and going, and then when you think, okay, relax, exhale, they're done. It just comes back, and I'm like, damn, damn.
Fuck, I thought we were
and people still laughing at it.
Bro, that's what
I
really
didn't think it was funny the first time.
That's what pissed me off when niggas would laugh the first time. I was like, okay. Then the second time, niggas laughed just as hard. I'm like, bro. And then the third time, I'm like, bro. Like, this shit is not funny. All it did was remind me of that fucking whenever Taylor Swift made that one song and that one goat was yelling to it and shit. Like, and that shit was that's all it reminded me of, bro. And like, that's all I thought of, and it wasn't even funny at that point.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I was mad.
Thor just wasn't good. I was about to say, at that point, I was kind of pissed because Thor sucked.
The first 5 minutes.
Yeah, the intro to that movie might have been the worst Marvel movie ever. That lousy ass God Gore killed was.
Dude, man. I mean, and for such a anyway, I don't want to start.
Yeah, it's already a little late.
It is a
comments too.
But yeah, so that's my thoughts. Our thoughts on Wakanda Forever's current box office, and that is its box office. That's the number. The number you got for everybody that was out there screaming, "Oh, it's gonna!" For everybody that was, because I saw so many tweets that were saying, "You guys are gonna look so stupid when it hits a bill." Well, here we are, and I look the same. I feel the same.
Looking smart
I called
as shit.
This. Yeah, I called this. So
I feel good as fuck.
So for everybody out there talking about whatever, no, that's your number. That's the number. That's what you get. It ain't skyrocketed anymore. Avatar's about to take a fat Avatar dookie on that shit. That's what's about to happen. I can promise you.
Blue shit.
Fat, big, blue, in the ocean shit.
Way of the water.
Way of the water on Wakanda Forever. Like, it's about to happen. So that's the number. That's the morbid shit, the imagery I was showing you guys. That's what people are doing.
About to really take a big shit.
Oh yeah,
this
bro.
Movie. Like I'm really sitting here thinking, like,
what are they?
They're gonna
take a knobby and shit.
You know how long it's been since, bro. My mom don't talk about movies. She is lit to go see Avatar on opening weekend. Fuck, it always falls. But like opening weekend, bro. So like I can imagine how many other like household, not just like people, households are feeling.
Oh damn.
Households are feeling like that.
Steven sent another 50. Oh my god. Steven, bro, we appreciate that so much.
Usually our Wednesdays are kind of wacky, but it's a Wednesday.
Yeah, those are two huge super chats. Thank you. You can touch that one. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. Like for real, both of them. Keep in mind the scores of ADOS men who grew up to go into the comic book industry, right, for BP to make him more relevant, only to have the franchise catering to a demographic who didn't spend 30 plus decades fighting for the character.
Exactly.
And that goes back to my thing about representation yesterday. It's like whenever you do something just to throw it in and please one little crowd, so it's like you please this crowd who's screaming for something, but then you're kind of disrespecting all the people who it's initially representing. It doesn't do anything. Like it's like a slapping. It's like here's this, and then while you're giving your palm back, you're slapping it in the face.
I'm telling you, we got kicked in the dick for literally almost a year. And I completely agree with that though. I've said that so many times sitting here that, and I want to give credit where credit's due. Theo B is the one that first said it, and I echoed it. Where Theo B stated, you got people who are in their 50s, in their 60s, that were kids at the time of the civil rights movement. Because I know a lot of people, as I've said before, because you see Martin Luther King pictures in black and white, that black and white imagery, a lot of people like to think to themselves, well, that was so long ago. My grandmother's in her 70s. It was during her time. She's still alive. Like, fuck, like, bro, stop it. So there were little kids, and I've shown the images of the little kids, the black and white photo of the little black boys reading the comic books. There were kids during the civil rights movement who that was made for. But we've said this. Jack Kirby has said this. And those kids waited 50 plus years to see this character on screen. That's why the first BP made a 1.3 billion, because it was a cultural movement. You have people that were like, oh my God, I finally get to see this character on screen, young and old. Like Theo B, well, he said it before. Theo's in his 50s. Theo's like 53, I think. I think that's what he said. And Theo is one of the stronger recast voices out here. And when you have someone like him who has had these comics in his collection, grew up reading these comics, can tell you deep things about Suri. Him and D Real had a whole live where they talked about Suri and how wrong people are with her just being the Black Panther. Because, you know, the regular crowd's like, well, Shuri becomes Black Panther in the comics. That shows me you didn't read it.
That's one of the main comments where I will go ahead and comic issue.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Send me the issue where she's Black Panther and T'Challa's dead.
Right. Like, don't get me wrong. There are 12 issues where she's there. Her brother's in a coma, but she's there. And I mean, he's there with her. But, you know, but it's not like Shuri's not just the Black Panther.
Yeah, there we go.
So, you know, and Theo and D-Real have gone into deep conversation about that. But the reason I even brought that up is because you've got someone like that who has been reading these comments in his younger age, and now he finally got to see him on screen in 2018, and others too that are older that got to see it, just to have it teased and then plucked away. And I've seen people saying, well, you're going to get him in the future. Again, your privilege is showing.
Even I myself have said I don't know, and I'm one of the people who want him, and I've been not ignorant enough to admit I don't know when we're getting him back.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he's not. I've said this. I don't care, bro. Until Marvel themselves, Kevin Feige, Nate Moore's lion ass, or Coogler, or whoever, gets up on somebody's red carpet, somebody's interview, and says, we are recasting T'Challa. Not bring T'Challa. There's no inkling he's coming back. You've got. That's what they gave TJ.
How long it took Superman for them to get Henry Cavill back?
A fucking decade.
So that's the same Superman actor.
The same
that's
Superman
not even recasting a whole
new
one.
Exactly. So if you get to that 2026 BP3 mark, that's why I said your privilege is showing. Who's to say that who's to say I am? Who's to say any of us are going to live to be here to see 2026's BP3? Some of our older viewers are older in age. I could leave my house wrecked. Anything. Like, who's to? You know what I'm saying? Who's to say? That's why.
Literally. That's what I'm saying. We're talking about it happened.
Your privilege is showing,
to the
bro.
actor in this situation.
Yes. Your privilege is fucking showing when you say you're gonna get him back. Just be patient. Some of us don't have the time to be patient. When you made a selfish move that you did not have to make, you could have kept him on screen. You could have had him there. It's like what was the last part Steven said there when he said franchise catering to a demographic who didn't spend 40 plus years,
decades,
40 plus decades, yes, fighting for the character. Again, that's it. You made your decision based off of people who only were introduced to this character in 2018.
Yeah, people make their decision, like, I get what you're saying, like, people making decisions based off just seeing the movie. When you have people who fought for the source material to be put on screen, you have groups of people who fought for the comic books to be put into movies and shit like that. And so it just shows your ignorance whenever you go out and comment shit like that just based off knowing or even the hero now that the movies have came out and you've been introduced to him on screen and stuff. I mean, like, even, like, I'd never try and compare my knowledge to someone who's spent decades knowing about the comic book just because I know I came in late on this character. Like, it's nothing I can do about that. Like,
y'all have heard me say I'll never enter spaces where I'm not knowledgeable like that.
Yeah, well, that's just life. Yeah.
I just won't.
I'm not ignorant like that.
Yeah, if you do, you got to go in with an open mind. I mean, you can have your opinions about any character you want to, right? But if you're not knowledgeable and all your knowledge comes from the MCU about T'Challa, or any character for that matter, be willing to kind of hear from especially people who are as big as fans as you, Darius, and people in the chat, who know their stuff about it and feel very passionate about them. They're fans on the surface level.
Exactly. Fans on the surface level.
But...
Exactly, I agree with you. There, fans on the surface level. To be willing, if you're, again, I've said that. I don't have a problem having the conversation. I have no problem having the conversation with you. I have no problem. Like, you guys saw me in jaded fanboys conversation. At first, it was gonna be rough before we had our private conversation that we had. But
it was gonna be a rough night, chat.
But after we had that conversation and we understood where both of us were coming from, now. Granted, his recast views are not my recast views, but he still wants the character recast. But see, if you can come in and have an educated, civilized conversation, we can do that. But just be, like Levon said, be willing to come in open-minded and stop looking at this shit at face value.
Right.
So, yeah, that's That's it. We're going to touch these comments, but as I always say, let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking. Are you thinking to yourself, that is the box office number? That's what I was expecting. Or are you one of the ones that you might be a little butthurt watching this video? You might be one of the ones that constantly comments on our recast videos, but this might be one you don't comment on. Because again, unless you can come with fact, unless you can come with something that's not, oh, you're a gatekeeping fanboy, keep your Twitter fingers to your damn self. And I mean that shit.
I was gonna say,
I mean that shit.
I'm on our Twitter, I'm on our Instagram just as much as Darius is, and so I'm able to realize we're not we could be coming at some niggas a lot harder than we do, and we usually just ignore shit. Because even in my mind, I'd be like, I could respond back to this, but I'm gonna just let Darius handle it or see. But I could really give you some educational, but at the same, I'm the type of nigga who want to give you the real, factual shit, but I'm also ignorant if you gonna be ignorant. I want to be I want to be just as much as an asshole as the person being an asshole to me. So like you said, I'm gonna match that. So, but at the same time, I'm not gonna be come into your space and just be wrong about shit. If I'm on it, I'm gonna just hit you with what's right, and then I'm gonna get off the phone. I don't have to respond.
See, my whole attitude with the recast crowd lately, since I've stopped arguing with people, has been, I'm gonna just leave you where you had me fucked up. I'm gonna just leave you where you had me fucked up. You had me fucked up with your first sentence, so I'm gonna leave you with that first sentence. You do you.
I'm cool off that.
But like I said, let us know below in the comments what you guys are thinking. Let's hit those.
Shout out Namor popping in. Yes, sir. Said need Planet Fanatics to go to war. I'll be in the front line for Grand Regent Thrag said, I would like them to recast Shuri with baby girl from Woman King. That's funny as fuck. You said that's a lot better than what most of these vocal anti-recasters are saying. Dan the Man said, well, butter me up and call me a biscuit. Grace Randolph can even realize the power of recast T'Challa. Thank you, God.
Wait a minute, Dan the Man. Did she say something? Because I haven't. Unless you're saying
link that, Dan. What Grace say?
unless you're saying that to what I just said. But did Grace bend the knee? Did she bend the cheek?
Oh shit. Raymond said the MCU is just Justin Timberlake compared to the Marvel comics, which would be, of course, Michael Joseph. Grace said, and kids today shouldn't have to wait until they're grown up to see the character again, especially when the character was successful at the box office.
Keep going. I'm listening to it.
DC. Oh, let me next one. My fault. Grand Regent Thark said, "Bro, I live in Philadelphia. I could walk out my house tomorrow, and that will be it. I will never see T'Challa." How I want that scares me.
Some people did.
That's what I'm saying. And you know what? I can already again. I keep saying this, but I can even okay. Wonder Woman and
you live in Philly. That's crazy. Some of you just live in some of you really live in places like that. You go outside today, and it's just damn. What the fuck going on?
Okay, yeah. Well, the
DC shit's real.
No, well, I think she's gone.
Gal Gadot's done.
I think so, but I need to read that. I have to read it.
Momoa done too. Or you got to read it.
I think he's done too. Well, I think he's done as Aquaman at least. Yeah. But that's another thing too, where people I can already hear people saying, "Oh my gosh." So you guys are talking about you might die before you get to see T'Challa again. That's so blah 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 blah. Yeah, bro. These are fantasy characters that again, if you're not a comic reader, I guess I can understand you not understanding. But if you're a comic reader, I can only speak for myself. Growing up reading comics, my brothers weren't into that. My brothers, they just weren't. So it was me, bro. It was just me reading in the comfort of my room, just reading different comics. And I can't tell you how much some of these characters do mean to me. Not just in Marvel, Star Wars. Some of these characters, they're not just they are characters, but we grew up with these characters. At least some of us did. Grew up with these characters. So it's I want these characters that I've read countless adventures of, and I've gone on countless missions and journeys with by reading. I want to see you accurately portray those characters on screen. I don't want to see you tell your version. Yeah, like
or actors when I want to put my spin on a character.
You know,
like,
don't put your spin.
I don't want
and that just goes back to having source material. Right?
Yeah,
it's like you've got it right there laid out in front of you. Just follow the script.
Just follow protocol. That's literally all you have to do most of the time.
Now, Raymond, we knew about the DC news, but I wasn't. I
weren't for sure.
Yeah, I wasn't for sure on some of the stuff. I hadn't read anything.
JB Easy said Shuri was also was killed by Namor, and who avenged her death? Oh yeah, T'Challa, and Shuri came back with powers.
Yep. Oh yeah, I was looking for Grace.
Grand Regent Drag said, "Yeah, I don't think we are getting T'Challa back how we want him."
Bro,
we know we're not.
Here's and I hate to be that guy.
Variant or some.
I really do. I'm telling you, I hate to be that guy. I really do. I don't think we see him in any form, but the form of TJ.
Hey, I knew it.
And that's the thing. They close so many doors whenever they introduce TJ.
They closed it all.
So many doors about bringing.
That solidified it.
Yeah, because.
That was basically his last decision was don't raise him in Wakanda. You basically you can't bring him back now and be like, this is your dad, blase this, blase that. You can't vary him in from another universe and be like, this is your son on this world. Like, no, you just can't do it. So I agree with you.
Well, I mean, and even with the story that they set forward, which again I debunked because it didn't make any fucking sense. Your Baba prepared us for this, to where you have the whole lie with Nate Moore saying that it was already in the film and it was this and this and that. It wasn't, because again I take you to the scene where Ramonda showed up in Haiti. One of the kids that passed by her, I don't know if he passed by her or helped escort her to Nakia, was TJ. Yeah. And you think his grandmother wouldn't have been like, oh, my grandson, my only grandson of my child who I just lost, and da-da-da-da. You don't think she's going to embrace him, hug him, want to hang out with him?
No, they made that her grandson later on. That was just a random boy.
He was just a random kid.
Haitian student.
He was just a random Haitian kid. That's all he was at first. Until they rewrote it and said, let's get in contact with actor number 4. Let's take that kid, and let's have him be TJ. Then we inserted, your Baba prepared us for this. Your Baba didn't and then say that T'Challa didn't know anything, prepared us for this before prepared Nakia for his death.
You decided that you shouldn't go to the funeral. We prepared for this. Like, no.
Nah, bro.
That made up ass fantasy mumbo jumbo bullshit. I'm not buying it at all.
Nah.
Zang Beto said MCU Shuri is completely different than the comics. Damn, was that Grace?
That's Grace's loud ass. If I ever open a stream like that, leave.
Grace going crazy.
Expeditiously leave.
Oh, you getting her a reaction?
Yeah, I forgot. They said it was like, what, 10:25?
Yeah, 10:25. Raymond said they don't read. Shuri is more than just Black Panther. She became a mythical being in Wakanda, holding the history and knowledge of Wakanda. Diesel said there's fans older than the character that's been eagerly waiting to see him on the big screen, like an OG Cubs fan who finally got to see them win the World Cup or the World Series. I said World Cup. Speaking of World Cup, fuck that.
Pause that, or pause on that really quick.
One of y'all gonna have to take off over that because I gotta go pick my dog up after this.
Let's hear what Miss Randolph said.
She gotta work.
If this loads. It may not.
Bit in that article about how $7, not Warner Brothers, but $7 was developing a Hawkman solo movie as to show that there was, a future for this brand. And that mysterious mysteriously disappeared from the article, perhaps because somebody got a call from a certain studio or executive or somebody. But I think that's very interesting, and it makes the story even more embarrassing. I mean, wow. And also the reference of Captain America making only $370. I mean, that was at the very. It's first of all, Kevin Feige got rid of Joe Johnston as the
Avatar reaction.
Oh, it's the Avatar reaction. I'm sitting here
You
looking.
don't know, bro.
Yeah, I'm looking at her recently uploaded.
Went to the timestamp and everything.
I'll pull that up later.
Oh shit.
I'll pull it up.
Well,
Jesus.
I would say
Steven again. Stop it.
Steven Dunn.
Steven Dunn with another $50.
Shut up, another 50?
Please.
Steven, thank you. Thank you,
blessing
thank you,
me.
thank you.
They stripped T'Challa of his most quintessential characteristic, his meta genius,
Wow,
and
thank
gave
you.
it to Shuri. The MCU's version of Wakanda is damn near a case study in subordinate male hypothesis. This nigga got some vocab on him. Shuri had 3 issues as Black Panther in 50 plus years. Make it make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like you said,
Quintessential was a word.
They did. They robbed him. I mean, one of the things that I've said too before is where was the intelligence of T'Challa in Wakanda Forever? Where was he in Wakanda Forever? Where was the intelligence of T'Challa in the first BP film?
Bro, that's Shuri's character.
Yeah, it's completely like you completely took everything away from
T'Challa's
T'Challa.
intelligence, not taking away anything from her actual character in the comics or anything, but they didn't give any actual comic book relevance to Shuri. They literally just made her what T'Challa's intelligence is and just said that she's also intelligent and boom. But we really don't even know her as a character. That if we go off what Don Cheadle said about War Machine the other day, we don't know who Shuri is as a character in the MCU.
We don't. Well, first of all, it's kind of like I said last night when somebody said something about Wakanda. I said that, or night before last night. Yeah. That ain't fucking Wakanda. You can't convince me that's Wakanda. That's not. That's some nation in Africa. That's not Wakanda, because the Wakanda, like he said, Wakanda is damn near a case study. Like it's your BP franchise. You can take it, and you can put it where the door is slamming on KK. I do not need your.
You can talk about Kathleen.
Yeah, I do not need your Black Panther franchise. You can keep it. You can do what you want with it. At this point, until T'Challa's back, I'm not there. I'm not there. Yeah, so right now I am actively boycotting Black Panther and the MCU. I'm boycotting it. Until you do something better with it, I'm boycotting it. Let's see.
Well,
Grace says
Steven, I appreciate you. Chad, it was a good day. Q's gotta go.
And now
gotta go pick my dog up.
And then we said, let me see. We got D Sizzle that said, I was introduced to Marvel, DC, Star Wars around 4 years old. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some of us were introduced to this stuff at a young age. And some of us have grown up loving all of this stuff. And for you to just do some of the shit y'all do, I'm just like, okay, go off. Go the fuck off.
It's just the support they get for some of the shit they do.
And like I said, I mean, it's not everybody's going to be as big as fan as the next person, but it's just be mindful that your opinion isn't the only thing that matters.
Right. Yeah, Astra said they are selling T'Challa toys from 616 Comic Universe, MCU T'Challa toys with BP toy line because they know it won't. Yep, I think I've touched on that too, because every time I go to Walmart, Target, Vintage Stock, or any of that, before Wakanda Forever came out, they re-released the BP1 figures. Because, again, but if you go to Target, Walmart, whichever one, your local toy store, wherever they sell toys, at least here, I can't speak for your other states, but at least here, if I go to my Walmart, I go to Super Target or any of that shit, T'Challa's gone. The figured T'Challa's are gone. Shuri's old figure is still there. Her new figure is still there. Nakia's new figure and her old figure is still there, because I'm not saying that those characters aren't important, because they were important in the first film, but they are secondary characters to the main character.
You're saying gone as in they're sold out.
Yeah, well, let me put it this. I'm sorry. The T'Challa ones are gone. Like, they're sold out, but the Suri, Nakia, even M'Baku's.
Yeah, those are still there.
They're still there. It's just because they're secondary characters, bro. Like, no one gives a I'm not saying we don't give a shit, because I do like those characters. I care. But why do I care about those characters if T'Challa's not there? Like, the only reason I cared about those characters was because of T'Challa. The only reason I care about Ned or MJ is because of Peter. I don't give a fuck about Ned or MJ. I don't care. But Peter's there, so I care. I don't give a fuck about Pepper. But Tony's there, so I care. So it makes me care about those characters. But when you take those... That's why I didn't really care about too much of any of them in Wakanda Forever. I didn't. Yeah, bro. Like, nah.
Stephen Dunn, I refuse to watch Wakanda Forever, The Woman King.
Yeah, I've seen people saying that one too. Ashra said, "This is the Church of Darius. We are Darius and I baptized, or Darians, however you would say that with my name mixed in that. Not sure. We got Gray said, and there's rumor that they are doubling down with Storm being next in the suit. With Storm? Oh, wait, have I missed these rumors? With Storm? Storm donning the suit? I tell you what, put Storm in that suit, oh my God. I will be so done. So done. No. I hate that rumor, and I don't like that, because I just heard it, but I don't like that rumor, and I hate the one where, T'Challa and Storm meet when they're younger. I hate the whole, that's what they're going to do with Storm and TJ, have them meet.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Raymond said they're going to act like we forgot those two. Daniel said, y'all, Chris Gore agrees with recast T'Challa. Please watch Film Threat on YouTube. Please see his takes if you haven't seen them. I'll have to check it out. We got Raymond that said, and why are people acting like he's staying in the MCU? That was a one-off appearance like Thunder Thor's kids. I don't know, bro. That's why I say that. Love will be back. I think we'll see Love. I think a lot of these kids we've seen are going to be a part of the MCU's Young Avengers. I don't see them aging TJ up. I'm just being honest. I don't see them aging him up to fit. I think, and I'm only going off of things I've said before, what Ryan Coogler has said in interviews. He never outright came out and said we're going to adapt T'Challa's storylines for TJ, but the way he worded that made it seem as if they are going to take T'Challa's stories from the comics and adapt them for TJ. So I know that T'Challa wasn't a part of the Young Avengers, but the way he was making it sound like how T'Challa grew up without a father, and then all the things that he went through as a kid, sounds like he was putting that on TJ. Like, we're going to do this with TJ. Yeah. We're going to show y'all this with TJ. So you still have T'Challa.
If they age TJ up, then we know for a fact, I think we already know, but that TJ wasn't originally in the script.
Yeah.
Because how do you age him up and then T'Challa's still there? Do you still have T'Challa die then, or?
I'm telling you, it was never a plan. No. There was never a plan. It was just some shit they threw together, like literally 5 minutes before curtain call. Gray said, if TaBaby was... Oh, we read that one, TaBaby. King Rico said, was there... I'm not sure on DBZ, Dragon Ball Z's manga. I'm not sure. I'm the wrong person to ask. I'm telling you. He said, was there not DBZ manga? I'm not sure. Is there Dragon Ball Z manga? Okay. I guess there is. I wouldn't know, bro. That's a Trey. Trey is our anime guy. D-Stizzle said, Super Casual's been trying to convince everyone he's a recast. Yes. Oh, that's where we are. We're in that part. Shirley Miles said, why don't they fix this Black Panther movie and say that either Shuri or T'Challa had a dream? there's so many different scenarios, theories that different pro recasters have given that are all good. The one that I really like the most is the Skrull, because I mean you're not adapting the comics anyway. I mean you're adapting certain things, but you're not making it. You're making it your own.
Ever since you said that would fit so perfectly.
It just makes the most sense.
Secret Wars coming up. It's a way to save the character and the Black Panther franchise. I'm all for T'Challa. That being a Skrull that they sent up.
I would love that, bro.
Yeah.
T'Challa's like it just been captured by the Skrulls and been yeah, bro. I would love it. They could do that. Dougie Fresh said, "Is TJ the first original black character in the MCU?" I think so.
What did he say?
Is TJ the first original black character in the MCU? I think he is. I can't think of anybody else that they've introduced. I think he is. I believe he is. King Rico said, "Not a recast, but a replacement." Yep. Gren Richard Thrag said, "I hate those responses. T'Challa Jr. is not a recast. I'm sorry. I love Letitia Wright, but she's 70 pounds. I don't believe her as a fighter, warrior, or leader. Neither do I. And I don't know if maybe she's one of those body types where she just can't put on,
Yeah, it may not be her.
Yeah, it may not be her.
That's
thing.
Nothing against her.
Yeah, nothing against her.
That's not an attack against her personally.
Not at all. It's just
doesn't really fit that role.
It doesn't. D-Stizzle laughing at the Tony Parker. Shirley Miles also said, "MCU is ruining the Black Panther." Yes, I would even put that in present tense. MCU has ruined the Black Panther. Stamina MC said, "Falcon Winter Soldier looks hella different if T'Challa lets Zemo kill himself in Civil War." Yeah, I agree with that too. Kenny Pierce said, "Yeah, the movies were originally made as a way to amp or hype, sell more comics." Tony Parker, shout out San Antonio Spurs. That's right, fucking Tony Parker. Tony Parker isn't the same. That's funny.
Yep, didn't think of that one.
Raymond 2000 said, "The comic series was never about mantles. It was a T'Challa, not Shuri, not Ramonda, not T'Baby, not Killmonger, but T'Challa." Exactly. D-Stizzle said, "Comic James has a younger sister named Jeanette. I bet Don didn't even know that." Probably not. He probably doesn't. Do we know if... I doubt Don has read. Why would he want to? He's like, what? What did you say how old Don was? Like 50-something?
Don Cheadle? Yeah, I think 58. Damn! He's like 56. I'm trying to... We ought to know it by now.
We ought to know it by now. I don't... Yeah, bro. I'm sure he doesn't, because I doubt he's read any of those or anything like that. But I know what you're saying. I doubt they've even delved in and told him, "Hey, here's some things about your character that you probably need to know." Because I doubt they know. Because let Nate Moore sell it. They don't even hire writers that know comic lore. So, Gray said, "Marvel gets 50% from the theaters domestically and at least 40% worldwide. The goal of this movie was to get close to the original box office number. This film is a failure." Yep. Professor Film Fan said, "Lincoln Heights on ABC's Family was the first time seeing Chadwick Boseman." See, my first time introduced to Chadwick was 42. That was my first time seeing Chadwick Boseman. And then I saw him in, other things. But that was my first time. I didn't know he was on Lincoln Heights, honestly. Dan the Man said, "Chadwick been in the game so long that his character on the show got recast with a kid, Michael B. Jordan." Then we see Grand Region Flag that said, "I was in college. T'Challa James Brown movie was one, or Chadwick James Brown movie was one of my go-tos when I had a girl over. James Brown Get Up is great." Double M said, "Chadwick was casted because of roles portraying Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall, James Brown." Yes, sir. Raymond said, "But these people are so mantle, they think Chadwick was T'Challa and T'Challa was one Black Panther in the line of others that have appeared in this mantle comic book series." I'm telling you, I keep telling people that one. I want to say I've read just about. There's a lot of the newer ones I have not, but I want to say I've read just about a lot of the older like Coates' stuff, a lot of the older BP comics. I encourage anyone to show me the comic where it's about a mantle. Like, if you can show me, I might shut up. If you can pull me a comic that says where it's about a mantle, okay. Ricky said, wrong conduct fail ever is freaking losing money at fourth weekend, and it sits at number 2 at the box office behind Violent Night, and a rated R slasher film is freaking embarrassing, not making billion this time. Nope, that's true. They didn't see him as James Brown. They didn't see Chadwick as Toth. Then D Stizzle said the MCU X-Men casting is going to be off. Nervous. Grand Region Thax said Angela Bassett kills every role she's in. Indeed, she does. She's my favorite actress. Kenny Pierce said Professor X. I was talking about that stuff there. Double M said 1 A+ character that's and you kill him off. 3 times. 1 A+ character and that's it. And you kill him off 3 times. Yep. We've watched T'Challa die 3 times in the MCU. I've seen people say 2.5. Nah, I'm rounding that. 3 times.
Yeah.
King Rico said he's going to be a great Professor X, though. I agree with you. We're talking Giancarlo. I think Giancarlo will be a great Professor X. iComic for you said he was a grown man to help his aunt and his wife Storm, and then there was the introduction of Galactic Wakanda. Yes. Now that's a story. My father is very disappointed. He's been reading the comics. He's been reading it since the 60s. See, that's what I mean. That's what I mean, bro. There's just so many stories that people that have been reading this stuff that they want to see that. Like, a lot of, again, the regular MCU fan doesn't even know Wakanda has a galactic empire. They don't know that. They don't know that shit because the MCU is so nerfed on Wakanda that, man, it's sad. No More Champagne said Japan would get set ablaze. Yeah, bro, I'm telling you. Like Dougie Fresh said, there's an anime fan. Let Luffy get replaced. I'm rioting. There it is, right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Another one said, "Aw, hell nah, be up." That was from No More Champagne. Kenny Pierce said, I don't know the, it's a manga. I'm sorry, I don't want to pronounce it wrong and make people mad. But he said it's his guilty pleasure.
Mangas, I believe that's how it's pronounced.
King Rico said that anime would not continue. Laugh my ass off. Japan, don't play that. I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. Officially MG said, I'm sorry I was eating Shuri as BP, but I just love women heroes, so maybe I'm biased, but yeah, T'Challa should have been there though. And like I said, I don't dislike Shuri. Like I like Shuri. I thought even some of the, I'm not like a huge fan of her comics, but like even say if I'm even a fan, but her, I don't mind her as the Black Panther when she's the Black Panther in the comics. I really don't. Like, it ain't what we saw in Wakanda Not Forever, but yeah, I agree with you, Official MG. I love female superheroes as well. Like, I would love to see a Shuri with T'Challa. Ashra said the movie needs to make $800 million to break. The budget $250 million plus $150 million for advertisement to finally the checks paid to cast and crew. Oh yeah, that's right. You know, you got to pay the cast and crew. You got to pay all this shit, all that. So yeah. Kenny Pierce said T'Challa playing a more pivotal role than Spider-Man in Civil War shows Marvel knew T'Challa was important. Exactly. Grace said, when you factor in the ballooned budget and marketing costs, this movie is a flop where it stands. Agree, brother. Sam MC said, On Your Left was a nice touch, but it was a precursor to the big guns. Sam Wilson don't got it like that, like you were saying. I agree. Because when he came in and said, On Your Left, I don't remember people.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, and I saw somebody in the comments say that, you know, it was like a tribute to, like, maybe not a tribute, but like, it reminded them of the Captain America.
The first time he said On Your Left.
Yeah, and he says On Your Left to him. And it's like, yeah, that takes you back, and you're like, that's a memorable moment, but it wasn't like whenever T'Challa and Peter Parker step out.
Yeah.
People weren't cheering like that.
Yeah.
At least in my theater. So.
At least in mine too. I don't remember it. I mean, and we're at the what is it? 4 years? 4 years ago today, the trailer for Endgame dropped. We got the Jinx that said T'Challa commanded the room by just walking in. That is true, man. That's true. Daniel Ben said, "Don't get me wrong, guys. I love Letitia Wright, but I can see." Oh, you guys got me with the names though, bro. Thuso. Let me look it up. As Shuri, because she's seen as a warrior, not an a-hole, but yeah, recast T'Challa. Let me see. Raymond, I think I might have found that plot leak too that I can send to you. I mean, like I said, I really don't care who. That's again. I don't care. I know everybody wants saying what they want for who they would do. Until Marvel, like I said, until they get in front of somebody's TV or interview or something and says that I don't care about any characters in the Black Panther franchise for Marvel at all. Raymond 2000 said Infinity War, Civil War, T'Challa was the best. Ashra said at Planet Fanatics the movie is currently at 73. Oh, it's at $735 million right now. $937,337 million. And that's as far as it's letting me go up, but I can touch these last ones down here because it's not letting me go up any further. Let's see. Daniel also said Shamir Anderson is rumored to be Blue Marvel. Really? Is that dude? I think it is. Because I believe... Yeah, wait. Yeah. I did see that. He is rumored to be Blue Marvel. It was rumored a while ago that Blue Marvel was going to show up in the Marvels. So, I don't know. I mean, he's not a Marvel, but I don't know if he is. Then we got Daniel Bean that also said Mackie is a positive black man building a film studio in his home state. Daniel also said, how y'all feel about Rick as a director? If it's for BP, if he brings back T'Challa, sure. I don't give a fuck.
Go for it.
If T'Challa's back, that's the only way I feel anything for any Black Panther, anything in the MCU. If T'Challa's back, sure, he wants to direct, put him on there. Anybody but Ryan. T'Challa's back, you want to recast Shuri? Sure, do it. As long as T'Challa is back. I don't care what you do with the BP franchise as long as a interesting, well-delving into story for T'Challa is told, like it was originally supposed to be. But until then, as I'm going to keep saying, I don't give a fuck what you do with the Black Panther franchise. I don't care. You've again, it's like Acolyte. You don't care, I don't care.
Yep.
Raymond 2000 said Anthony Mackie is so problematic. One thing I can't stand about Anthony Mackie is his acting. I don't think Anthony Mackie's a great actor. That's for at least in the MCU. Let me put it that way. At least in the MCU, I don't think he's a good actor. Maybe they haven't given him enough. I don't know. He's got the most screen time of all the black actors in the MCU, so I don't know. But I also don't like his stance on recast. Stephen Dunn said I lived in Japan for 13 years and he's right. Wow. Okay. That's dope. Daniel said, I have a friend, right? A friend of both of ours is Zeke lives in Japan. Yeah, Zeke lives in Japan.
Been there for a couple years.
Yeah, he's been there for a while. We were texting about it. Yeah, Zeke's in Japan.
Yep.
Daniel said, Fox X-Men films turned off comics, then the larger audience gets less interested. Yeah. D. Stizzle said, crazy former longtime Marvel editor in chief Joe Quesada. I can never say Joe's last name. I'm sorry. Went back to DC. I did see that. Gray said, and the mantle is part of his lore, never meant to be the focal point of this story. Yes. As I've shown the pictures from the comics of any time T'Challa talks to any past ancestors, under his past ancestors that donned the Black Panther mantle. It's never to be like go through their story as Black Panther. It's never to say, it's only for them to counsel T'Challa. Only for them to give their advice. It's just like, another perfect example. Everybody here watched ATLA, Avatar Last Airbender. When Aang couldn't figure out what to do with the Fire Lord, what did he do? He called on past avatars. He called on past avatars to ask them, what would you have done in this situation? That's the same thing T'Challa does. It ain't never to say, hey, can you tell me about your time as the Avatar? It doesn't matter. Can you tell me how you can help me, talk me through the current situation I'm dealing with? What would you have done as a BP?
And they only really, in the MCU, they really only, he really only goes there whenever he gets covered in the sand and they give him the heart-shaped herb. They don't, it's not like something that he just jumps into.
Yeah. That's
so
it, bro.
They should have touched on that.
They should have. We've got, let me see. Grand Region Fight that said, yeah, Chadwick plays Toth in the Egyptian movie with Gerald Butler, and I forget the name. Oh, I didn't see. You have to. I'm gonna have to look Chadwick's filmography up for sure. There's a lot I've seen with him. Well, I don't want to say a lot. I've seen obviously Ma Rainey. I've seen 42. I've seen Thurgood Marshall. I've seen Get Up. I've seen 21 Bridges. I did not know he was in Lincoln Heights though, and I didn't know he was in that Egyptian movie either. Stephen Dunn said it's a lineage. Exactly. Yes, it's a lineage. It's not. Yeah. Gray said I knew 42, but Get On Up was my introduction to Chadwick. Oh, okay. Daniel Bean said, "Old girl from the Woman King would have fit Suri, and no knock against Letitia. Love her." Somebody else said that same thing. Grand Region Thrag said, "Oh, we're laughing at the Kevin Hart, the damn thing." Gray said, "I still would like Kang snatching T'Challa up and holding him prisoner outside of time, giving Marvel the time they need to recast, then write a great story for his return." I like that one too. If you want to play it more into Kang stuff, I like that one too. Shirley Miles said, what do you think of the Black Adam movie? I adored Black Adam. I thought Black Adam was great. Again, I don't think the plot was all that the storyline that they had put there behind it, I wasn't really feeling. But the action and how much fun you have in that film takes it. Like, honestly, I wasn't even thinking about the storyline until I got out of the film. I was like, oh, well, that storyline was kind of whack. But I was so enthralled with the action because it was dope, bro. That action was dope. Yeah. From the beginning. Yeah. The action was dope. So, and that's what I go to superhero films for that type of mythical fantasy. I want to see people do shit I can't do. Like, I can't fly. I can't shoot lightning at it. I can't take down a helicopter by tapping it. Like, what? I want to see that shit. Like, it's the mythology of it. It's the fantasy, bro.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got JB Easy that said they didn't want a top tier black male superhero. If he was Ant-Man, they would have recast. Oh yeah, I've said that about, like I've said, if Tom Holland, and I don't want anything to happen to Tom Holland, but God forbid, if something was to happen to Tom Holland tomorrow, you can't look me in the face and say they don't do Spider-Man 5 or 4. You can't.
Stephen Dunn.
Stephen hit another one?
Another $50.
Stephen, bro. Oh my gosh. Let me go. Hold on, Stephen. I'm coming down there to that. Wow, we really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm gonna get to that. Just give me 1 second, Stephen. Grace said if they switch to T'Challa after wait. Let's see. Jay Rich said, I think DC gonna take over in the next 10 years. It's quite possible. They have a 10-year plan that they're working on. Well, it's done. I think James Gunn and Safran know what they want to do. Daniel said T'Challa shouldn't have a child out of wedlock kids until he gets one with Storm. Yeah. Pookie Wood said Black Panther 2, hate and blunder. Pookie Wood also said Black Panther 2, we gave you a recast. They didn't, but that's their premise. Gray also said, I'll put the video in the Discord where there's Storm rumors. Yes, please do, because I definitely will talk about that tomorrow. Raymond said Black Panther 2, Dawn of Death. Black Panther 2, Homecoming. Dan the Man said Storm's daughter and TJ is better. Storm's daughter and TJ is better if we not getting Storm and T'Challa. We've got Raymond that said she basically was like, so you call yourself a Black Panther fan? Oh, this is someone. He said, y'all remember when my cousin called me out on Thanksgiving dinner and I almost had to go to jail? So at another family function, I told someone I'm not participating in any more Wakanda stuff. She basically was like, so you call yourself a Black Panther fan but won't support the franchise. I told her the Black Panther franchise is only good with this main character T'Challa. I most times I really don't understand how that's hard to understand. Like, I mean, I can give you any example. I can give you a goofy, fun example if you want. I watched The Land Before Time growing up. It was my shit. I got every Christmas. That was my one of my stocking stuffers was the new, because there's like 13 of them. The new Land Before Time film. Land Before Time with no Littlefoot. Like, I mean, that's what I'm just getting at, bro. Like, I can give you goofy examples if you want, if that'll help you understand it. But, like, I'm not watching Land Before Time if Littlefoot's not in it. Why do I care? The focal point is Littlefoot. Like, I don't care. I care about Sarah, Ducky, Petrie, and Spike, but the focal point is Littlefoot. So, I just don't get it. I don't get it, bro. It's weird. The last ones I'll read here before I go back down that bottom. JB Easy said, I boycotted Wakanda Forever. I don't blame you. Like I said, I would have. I can't speak for my co-host, but I would have if I did not have this channel. And had I said this before I saw the film. If I didn't have this channel and had I seen because I saw the post-credit scene before I watched the movie, and had I seen the post-credit scene before and didn't have this channel, I wouldn't have gone to see it. I wouldn't have gone because I saw, like, you told me what I need to know in that post-credit scene. I didn't even, I didn't need to. Stephen Dunn said, I refuse to watch Wakanda Forever, The Woman King. I think we read that one. Grand Region Thrax said, again, it's like, would you watch a Batman series where Alfred is Batman? Yeah. Dan the Man said, you didn't care about my cameo in Wakanda Forever, the outrage. Did I say his name? Did I say your name? And then, let's see, the bottom. Let's start with Steven here, where Steven said, just hear me out, per Avatar. Imagine if they had the goddess Bash transfer T'Challa's essence/soul into a worthy successor upon his death. All right, y'all, I'm out. Support the Fanatics crew. Bro, you really do support the Fanatics crew, Steven, and I appreciate that so much. The $200 you sent in today, bro, it means so much to all of us over here. The fact that you support us that much, to send that much. Not only that, all of you being here. And when I say these things, I never want anybody to feel obligated to send anything, because I'm here to enjoy you guys. We're here to just have fun with you guys. If you send something, it's always appreciated, but never feel prompted at all. Because I enjoy all of you guys being here and talking and all the things you guys are saying. So,
like I said, I mean, just liking the subscribes.
Yeah.
People don't realize how much that actually gets. The more likes you get, it gets the channel out there. So
it does, for sure.
Just something as little as, one taking a second to hit that like button, it goes a long way, guys.
That for sure. Because we're at a point now on our channel where you used to have to, in the search bar, type out Planet Fanatics fully for us to even come up. Yeah. And even then, it was pulling up some makeup YouTube channel. Now, you type in Planet, we're popping up. And I love it. Right. I love it because it's like, that's you guys supporting us on this level. That's you guys engaging with us every live stream. That's you guys like Steven sending super chats and things like that. And you guys in the Discord.
Yeah, I saw Dan the Man. He got into the Discord.
Bro. Like, it is so appreciated. The support is so real. Love you guys so much. Like, I honestly mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like, I really do love you guys. I care so much about spending the time with you guys. I really do. D-Stizzle, now, well, to answer what Steven said there about the whole hear me out about the Avatar, I'm not opposed to stories that I would love that, to where that could explain a whole difference in his appearance for people that need an explanation and a difference in his appearance. That could explain it if that's what you want to do. I would love that. I mean, anything to get him back on. Steven said, we get the politics we deserve. We get the politics we deserve, and everything is political because we support the media we ingest. Yes, I agree, bro. D-Stizzle said the Land Before Time
is a good film.
Yeah, bro. Like that first one. Well, first of all, I love them. They started getting cornier as they kept going because there's 13 of them.
I didn't know there were 13.
Yeah,
of them.
there's 13 of them. I got one every Christmas.
Yeah.
There's 13 of them. They started getting cornier as they went on, but that first like 8 or 9, those are really good.
Those are really good films.
I think I just rewatched The Land Before Time in my grown ass age. Yeah, a few weeks ago. I love Land Before Time. It is a good film.
Did you find anything different that you didn't catch before? How long has it been since you watched that first one?
It's been a minute. I hadn't watched that first one since I was like elementary.
Yeah.
I understood a lot more of the dialogue. You know, as a kid, you don't because it's a good children's film, but it has dark tones at the beginning.
Right.
You know, when his mom, that whole shit is dark as fuck.
Yeah. I always like that, going back and watching stuff as an adult that you watch as kids, and just there's a whole nother side. It's crazy how writers can do that. They fit stuff into where it's for kids, and then
you get your adult themes. Yeah,
as adults you understand it too in a different way. So.
Yeah, I agree. Steven, yeah, that, like Raymond said, agreeing with you, because I was rereading what you just said. That is very true, brother. That is very true. Chill Spot said, I'm not watching Land Before Time without Littlefoot either. Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying. I agree. That's what I'm saying. I'm not using that as like the main example, but for people that need goofy examples, if that's what you need, we can give you goofy examples. Gray said, I ain't watching that. No Littlefoot. Fuck out of here. I'm glad we got so many Land Before Time fans. Raymond said, yo, the Land Before Time wasn't my thing. It was mine too, bro. Asher said, Storm's daughter, ? Asher, I'm trying to figure out too, but Gray sent it in the Discord, so I'm going to definitely hop on that. Daniel said, yeah, Raymond, Gray tagged me, because everybody talks so much in the Discord, it'll take me forever to find it. So please tag me when you send that. Daniel said, yeah, Raymond, Marvel's World's Finest. Ashra said the ancestral plane in the BP movie is wrong. There's no buildings, but it's only a jungle with only animal. Yes, African gods like bass, etc. living there. Yep. If there are people there, it's the I never pronounce it right, Ashura, and I'm not going to try. Even when I'm quietly reading in my head the BP comics, I'm like, how the fuck is this pronounced? So I'm not the best when it comes to pronouncing. Like one of my partners at work, he's Hispanic, and he's always trying to get me to learn Spanish with him. Like, cause he's like, Delio, I want you to talk to me in Spanish. I'm like, bro, you can try to teach me, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to pronounce this at all correctly. Yeah. At all. Like Miss Masson. Did you have Miss Masson?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I had Miss Masson. She was my Spanish teacher. When we have time, guys, I can tell you some stories from high school. But I got suspended because I hexed her because I thought I was a witch.
What?
All I did was the color purple shit to her. I said, until you do right by me, everything you do is going to fail. That's all I did. And then
you pointed at her like that?
Yeah, I pointed at her like that. I was like, until you do right by me, everything you do is going to fail. And she was just like, she called the office. The rent-a-cop and the Mr. Hall came down and grabbed me. The class said when I left, she just stood there. He was a
security in the world, man.
The class said when I left, she was just standing there, and then she dropped her cup and just started bawling and left the room. But I'll tell you, ever since that, when we'd see each other in the hallway, if we were on the same side, she'd go the opposite side or she'd turn around. The most funny thing, I just posted this on Facebook last month. I saw her at Walmart. I hadn't seen this woman since high school. Saw her at Walmart. Bro, we made eye contact. When I tell you she saw a ghost, I don't know, because they called me in the office. Miss Blatt was like, dear, did you hex Miss Masson? And I said, what? Because this was the next day. This was that next morning. Yeah, I was like, what? But yeah, that's a whole story, bro. D Stizzle said, I say comic book T'Challa has talked more to Bast than his ancestors. We haven't even seen Bast besides the opening of the first Wakanda.
Yeah.
Or the first Wakanda, the first BP.
Yeah.
Greg Charlie said BP2 should have been a Disney Plus show. It should have been something with T'Challa.
Daniel said, bro, Yolan Noel would be fire. T'Challa, I agree. He's my first choice. It fluctuates between him, Damson, and Aldous. D. Stizzle said, you said his name. Okay. Zang Beto said, I wanted to see T'Challa become the King of the Dead. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Would love to see it.
Do it.
Gods of Egypt. Oh, he played in Gods of Egypt? I did not know that. Raymond 2000 said, both T'Challa and Ramonda drown. Sad. Let's see. Raymond also said, Aang always sought knowledge and helped from the past avatars, just like T'Challa. We never see that in the movies. It's only you go there when you're covered or drown, like T'Challa and Ramonda. Yeah. Daniel also said he did the Mandalorian though. Oh, did he? Wait, who are we talking about?
Because that was Favreau, Filoni, Bryce Dallas Howard. I forget old dude's name. Yeah, Roku was his favorite. Stamina MC said Mackie is a bit of a lesser version of Ryan Reynolds, in that his characters are played not too far off who he already is as a man, but Ryan is sharp-witted and funny in a way Anthony sadly isn't. I think that's what it is. I don't find Mackie I don't know. I just don't find him he doesn't pull me like Tom Holland pulls me as an actor, you know? I don't know. He just doesn't do it for me. And I was wanting it in Falcon and Winter Soldier. It just didn't go there. Chill Spot said, yep, I was just thinking about the ATLA when you said that. Yeah, bro, it's a good comparison there. D Sizzle said, whoever wants to bring T'Challa back, welcome aboard. Yep, exactly. Gray said he did Dope and The Wood. Ah, okay. He's been doing films set on younger characters. Okay. Let's see. So I'll go down here to the bottom, and then we'll have to close here soon. Let's see. Oh, you guys are they all laughing at the whole Color Purple thing? Yeah, bro. It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. Dan the Man said no dinosaurs without Aladar. Ooh, Aladar. That was a good one. Oh, okay. No I see what you're saying. You're saying no dinosaur without Aladar. Yes, the movie Dinosaur. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
No dinosaur without Aladar. That's true. Daniel Bean said Bushmaster from Luke Cage as Brother Voodoo. Ashra said it's pronounced Jala. Ignore the D. Okay. I probably still said it wrong, Ashra. Tomorrow we might do some call-ins so you guys can actually voice some things on that Storm stuff when I read it. Dan the Man said ain't no way. Yeah, bro, they sent me home. Zang Beto said LOL. Nah, fam, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. I was Norman North's worst nightmare. Every day I walked into that school, they hated me.
There was one time we were it was either an assembly or it was during a basketball game or something. This is when you had your mohawk.
Oh, when I got kicked out.
Sure. Yeah.
When I got kicked out the game.
Yeah, I just remember because we didn't really know each other that well back then.
Yeah.
I just saw you walking on and you turned around and you started
going off.
You started going off on somebody. You pointing in the
Yeah, I remember that game.
Darius dude.
That game, bro. Yeah, bro. They hated me at Norman North, man. If I sneezed, it was you're suspended for 10 days. I'm telling you. They hated me, but yeah, bro, that's pretty funny. That's funny that you remember that shit.
I do.
That's one of my favorite ones to tell. Like Brian remembers that one too. Brian's always like, tell that story again. Tell me how that is.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, bro.
Oh, I still don't know the full one on that.
It just I was already I was expelled at that point. I was expelled. So for those of you that, this is the last thing I'm saying because at this point I've let me see. The comments, let me see. Raymond said, I want to know what your mom had to say. If I was black, I would have been dying. Oh, my mom, she thought it was funny. I remember that. She did think it was funny. She told me I needed to clarify what that was.
Yeah.
But she did think it was. No, my expulsion, no, she did not find that shit funny at all. I was in trouble. But before we close tonight, wait, let me see. Ashra said you guys have call in how many people line up to talk. Well, we've only done it once, and It was when Levon called in, but everybody, people have been commenting, hey, please do call-ins. Q has mentioned it, saying that some of his friends have asked for it as well. So it's definitely something I want to do. I want to do call-ins and get you guys' opinions on things too. So other than just in the chat.
And will we do that through Discord?
Yeah, that'd be through Discord. So you would have to join the Discord.
Yeah.
If you're not in the Discord, join the Discord, and then that's the easiest way for us to do the call-ins. I want to make sure I'm getting most everybody, but we're about to close. Greg said the Haitian connection would have been a perfect way to bring in Brother Voodoo, who also has similar powers to Doctor Strange. He could have multiversed a T'Challa from a different universe. Another option. Okay, I see that there. So Ricardo said Q and I were some menaces at Westmore. So I'll answer Levon, and then we'll close until tomorrow. But so that particular time, I was already expelled. I got expelled because my math teacher, Miss Deskin, hated me and I hated her. I'm sorry, Miss Deskin, and her cat died. She crushed her cat. She had taken a long time off from work. Because she crushed her cat in her garage door. She didn't know her cat was there, and she closed the garage door, and it crushed her. And I don't know how that happened, considering garage doors have sensors. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she crushed her, and maybe she had a manual one. I don't know. But she crushed the cat. And so when she came at me crazy, I used that as ammo. I told her, I said, damn, what did I say? What did I say to her?
Well, what did you do?
Oh, okay. So that let me get to that part. What I did. So I was sick that day. I wasn't feeling great that day. I was, at our school. I don't know about everybody else where you're from, but at our schools, they played music to let us know you have a minute to get to class. Mm-hmm. I was in class well before the music came on. I was sitting down. She came over to me. My phone. I always carried my phone in my hand. I never put it in my pocket. It was always in my hand. So I set it down on my desk as I was pulling out my books for class. She comes up, swipes it, and says, no phones in class. Mind you, the music's not even on yet. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what? So I went, as she was walking away, I got up and I grabbed it from her hand and I said, you can't have my phone. And she's like, Mr. Henderson, you can give me your phone back or we can go to the office. And so I put my shit back in the bag and I was like, well, we can go to the office. So I was like, I'm not giving you my fucking phone because I'm sitting here in class and the passing period's still going on. What? So we get up there, we get to the office. Well, as we're on our way to the office, that's when I made the thing I said about her cat. Because she said, that's what she said. She said, you just have a hard time listening. I said, did your cat have a hard time listening? Because you crushed it in the door. Did it not move when you said move? I just used that on her just because of how she was. So we get to the office. She tells me, wait outside Mr. Young's office, our principal. She went in Mr. Young's office. Next thing I know, Mr. Young tells me, get in here right now. Mr. Young already hated me. I go in there. He's bringing up the whole thing. I'm explaining it to him. Then he's bringing up, why is this missing in her class? I was like, 1, I'm a senior. 2, I have the stuff. It's not like I had a bad grade in her class. I was like, I'm going to get it in before time or whatever.
Right.
He was like, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you some time at home to think about what you've been doing and to get those missing things in. I'm like, bro, the missing things are done. Like, I have them. I just haven't turned them in. And he was like, well, yeah, blah, blah, blah. We're sending you home. So I said, so you're suspending me because I refused to give her my phone during passing period? And he said, yep. And that's how he was with me. Yep. See you later. I said, okay. Now, Miss Blatt was in there, the rent-a-cop was in there, and he was in there. I said, okay, I'm going to give y'all a reason to suspend me. Now, if you knew me in high school, I was a little theatrical. Let's use that word. So I swiped, no lie, I swiped everything off his desk, not this computer. All the papers and shit, his name tag, all that shit. I swiped everything off his desk. I kicked my chair over. I said, that's a fucking reason to suspend me. I said, y'all want to suspend me? Suspend me for that. And so then I go out in the hallway, because I left. I just left out of his office. I go out in the hallway, and there just happened to be a lot of motherfuckers I disliked in the office that day. So while I'm at it, I'm just like, and you know what? Fuck you for da 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 da.
You started bodying.
I just started going off, and Mr. Young comes out there, and this is what he said to me. Mr. Young comes out, he's like, "Fuck us." He's like, "No, fuck you." That's what he told me. He's like, "No, fuck you." He was like, "We've been dealing with this since your freshman year. We're done with this." He's like, "You're expelled. Get off the property." So the rent-a-cop tells me, "Mr. Henderson, you're not 17 anymore. You're 18 now," which I don't know how the fuck they knew that, but you're 18 now, and you can blah blah blah. You can go to
tabs on.
Yeah, you can go to big boy jail. And I said, "Who's gonna take me? Not you. You're not a real cop." so
was he the big old
the
dude?
big old one? Yes, that one. so then they kick me off the property. I'm across the street, waiting on my ride. Get home, tell my mom. She's like, "You need to go up there and apologize, blah, 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 blah." She was pissed. With me, not them. At first, with me, not them. So then, after my 3 days, because it was originally supposed to be a 3-day suspension. After my 3-day suspension, I went back up there. Mr. Young wasn't there. He was in a meeting. So I talked to Miss Blatt, my principal. So we had principals at my school. My principal was judged by your last name. My principal was Miss Blatt. Mr. Young was just the head principal. I talked to Miss Blatt. She was in there when it happened. I said, "Miss Blatt, you know how I am." I said, "You know I can get really pissed off sometimes." I said, "I'm sorry. You know, I feel bad, blah, blah, blah. I just want to come back to class." She said, "Okay, Mr. Young's busy. I will reinstate you in the system. Go ahead and go back to class. I'll talk to Mr. Young." I said, "Oh my gosh, thank you." So I called my mom. I said, "Mom, I'm back in school. It's cool." She's like, "Okay." That particular night was the basketball game, the pink out game. Because I had on my pink out shit for the game, and I had been there. Because I remember we stayed for the JV game, the girls game, into the varsity boys game.
Yeah.
So I'm standing on the senior row with everyone. And next thing I know, like, Mr. Young and both rent-a-cops are pointing at me, and I'm like, "What the fuck, bro?" I'm like, "I'm watching the game. What?" Yeah. And so Mr. Young comes over there. He goes, "What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. You're expelled, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "I'm not expelled." I was like, "I talked to Miss Blatt this." And, bro, I might have went at him a different way if he didn't come over there like, "What are you doing?" Yeah. So I was like.
I know he was as red as that hood.
Oh, yeah, bro. He was, you know how Mr. Young was. Mr. Young was nothing but 4'8".
And nothing, I mean, Mr. Young's passed since, you know.
Yes, since his passing. Nothing. Yes, nothing disrespectful. Because even when he passed, I posted a very heartwarming status for him. But yeah, Mr. Young did pass away. So anyway, he's like, you know, I was like, Miss Blatt told me I could come back. I was like, "She's right over there. We can go talk to her." This is where you saw came into play. Okay. I go over to Miss Blatt and I said, "Miss Blatt, will you please tell Mr. Young that I came in your office this morning and talked to you and you reinstated me in school? That's why I'm here." This bitch said, "Darius, this is the first time I've seen you all day. I swear to God. I swear to God. Your jaw dropping was my jaw dropping. My jaw dropped. I said, "Are you fucking serious?" I said, "You're saying you hadn't seen me all day?" Bro, so that's when you saw me flipping off everybody and cussing out the fucking gym. I was like, nah. I'm not letting this shit go. I went up to the front, the desk where, you know, you paid to get in the game. I said, "Give me my fucking money back."
Bro, yeah, I was
hot. I was so pissed.
And you know she went back into the office and deleted the evidence.
Oh yeah, bro. She was like, "Oh no."
There was tape.
Yeah, she was like, "We gotta." He was never here.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. They hated my black ass, bro. They hated me. That shit is so funny. Ah, shit, that's funny. But anyway, that's a fun way to end the stream. End it on that story there. You guys getting to learn more about me. But we appreciate everybody being here. We appreciate Stephen for the super chats there from you. We appreciate everybody engaging with us and being here with us. Spoiler Kings and K-Dot and Gray and D Stizzle, Raymond. Now I have to do everybody because I'm going to miss names. I'm going to go as far as it'll let me. Asher, Ricardo, D Stizzle, Greg, Daniel, Gray. I think I might have said you, Zangbeto. Let me see. King Rico.
I don't want to pronounce it wrong. UC151. I think I'm pronouncing it. I know I am. Josiah Allen, we appreciate it. Chill Spot, appreciate you being here. Let me see, who else am I missing? Stamina MC, appreciate you, London, always checking in. We appreciate that, bro. JB Easy, appreciate you being here. And who else is up? Pookie Wood, we appreciate you being here, bro. Am I missing anybody? Even XXX69.biz, the pornos, the porno, whatever. We appreciate you being here.
Appreciate that.
Professor the Film Fan, appreciate it. Grand Region Thrag, appreciate it. Official EMG, if you are still watching and you follow us on Twitter, please DM me, because I've been trying to reach you since Monday, so please DM me. Let's see. Namir, we appreciate you being here. Shirley Miles, we appreciate you being here so much. Let's see. Am I missing anybody?
You got Dan the Man.
Dan the Man, Kenny Pierce.
The Discord, appreciate it.
Oh, Dan the Man, appreciate you joining the Discord. Kenny Pierce, we appreciate you always being here. Let's see. Am I missing anybody? Missing. Ricky Clover, appreciate you being here. Who is it?
Usai151.
Okay,
They
Usai.
said Usai.
Usai. My apologies, bro. Usai151. Appreciate you. I'm the worst with names. You guys are just gonna have to.
Yeah, you'll have to tell them that again.
Yeah. So we appreciate you guys being here. That's as far as it'll let me go up. So we appreciate everybody being here. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. And we'll be back with you guys tomorrow to talk some more stuff. Hopefully to probably talk about that storm, whatever I read that Grace sent me. But there's some other things that I want to talk to you guys about outside of recast. I thought we've done these past few streams. We haven't had any recast news. There hasn't really been anything besides this newest thing about the box office coming up. So, it's been fun talking about not having to about ready to choke somebody out over recast. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. Yes, please DM me. No, we appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow. It's always like that. We'll be back tomorrow. As I always say, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Love you guys so much. And again, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.